Okay. Are we
So
good?
maybe we've
M-
said already hello, but maybe we're
We're
saying
done.
hello
Actually, we're
now.
done. So, how are you, Danielira?
I'm good.
So let's wait for confirmation to see if people can hear us and see us.
Well, I know we are live now because I
Okay.
can see
So could
that
somebody in
we've been
chat?
live for 10 seconds according
Yeah.
to what I'm seeing. But
And
there's always a delay.
yeah.
So
And when was the last time that we were live?
oof, let me check. It was um do you want to try and guess?
I mean, it's probably over a year and a half ago.
So December 21, 2023.
2 years ago.
That's the last live stream?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's terrible.
Wow. Well, not terrible.
Hey, it's horrendous.
I mean, it's not like we've been
We haven't been
out
doing
of the
anything.
map. Of course we
Honestly,
have.
yeah, under the bed,
No.
doing nothing.
So they're saying, good evening, hola, se escucha, hola.
Fantástico.
I can
Gracias.
see and hear you.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, we can hear and see you.
Oh
Sí.
my God.
Hola, Dani, Nicolás. We
Oh,
can
so
see and
good.
hear. So
Audio
amazing.
is fine?
Yeah. Can you listen to us fine?
Okay, great. Yeah. No, because we had to like cobble up together like a setup. Because first of all, we didn't really remember how to do this.
No, and everything changed because
Yeah.
the YouTube
The world changed.
live thing,
Yeah.
the interface.
Interface, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it changed.
Yeah.
And the program that we use, that's called OBS,
Netscape.
we
That's how
updated.
far back we were doing a live.
We updated it, so
Yeah.
it's changed.
Our America Online account.
It changed too.
Closed.
So
Yeah, so it's been a while.
yeah, but we're happy to be here.
Very happy.
And
of
we are
course.
very excited.
Oh, very
for
excited.
The new chapter in our Painted Lives.
Yeah.
She's gonna be
What is that?
our patron.
Oh, I thought it was that we were married.
Oh, we are married, but they already knew.
Well, but this is the first
So
live.
we are married.
First married
You have
live. I have my ring.
your
yeah.
ring.
Look
I
at
have
my power ring.
my 2 rings.
Yeah,
with
you got
me.
2. That's way more than me.
Yeah.
So that's not fair, but good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're married. This is the first
No, I don't think it.
Mr. and Mrs. Daniela Ocampo.
Yeah, we were engaged
Mrs. and Mr. Daniela Ocampo.
when we were engaged when we were live streaming the last time. Yes.
No,
2023. Yeah.
That was
December 2023.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's not that bad. It
no,
was a
it's
year
not
ago.
that bad. No, not at all.
A year ago. Are we sure?
Yeah.
I don't think so, Danny.
That's what it's.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's
I think it's way.
No, that's the date.
Okay.
So
we'll check.
I mean, I'll trust that more than your memory.
You should.
So
always. Anything more than my memory.
Yeah, but
like a leather brain.
I'm really happy to be here.
Yes.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah,
Happy.
No, we're good. What else?
¿Cómo se dice? Felices fiestas.
Happy parties.
Happy parties.
There we go. Yes, that's
No.
perfect.
So I want to read some comments.
Yes.
Just before I have to put this a little bit bigger because I can't see that.
Do you want your glasses?
No.
I mean, I can't leave this place.
No, it's just like, how do you say Arial 10?
Okay, the font size?
It's like the font is so small. But let's see.
Are you good? That looks geriatric. Geriatric font.
It's perfect.
Okay. Do you want your TV control with like
no? So
font size 100 numbers?
Prince Bourbones, Zoe was saying, I will probably miss this, but giving everyone a hello and a happy New Year.
Oh, that's very
nice. New Year to you too.
That's super, super nice.
Guillaume Lheureux.
Oh, Guillaume.
I hope people missed my French.
Bonsoir, Guillaume.
Saying hi everyone. Lunchtime. Lunch as in the chat.
Because we already had lunch.
It might be lunchtime for people too, so.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Liad was saying, hey, it's been a while.
Liad. Yes.
Liad. I can see Catherine here wishing everyone a happy new year.
That's
happy
so
new
nice.
Year to you too.
Catherine.
Wathik was saying hello. Cristinita saying hello. Hola, Cristinita.
That's my niece?
Yeah.
Okay.
Andres Garces was saying happy new year. Feliz año. Excited to learn about OPL on Patreon. Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
we are very excited too. We
Yeah.
are so today Nicolas is going to do a drawing
The beginning of a drawing, I feel.
that's going to be continued in the Patreon.
Yeah, because I think my hopes were that I could do this drawing and that it could serve as an underdrawing, and because it was a picture that I took of you
This morning.
just a couple of hours ago. It was
Yeah.
very nice.
Well,
So,
more than a couple of hours. I was just
a couple of
like
hours
out
ago.
of bed.
I think a
So-
couple of hours, includes like
Okay.
5 hours ago. So, um, very nice photo. And I've been scribbling. Could you tell that I've been scribbling, or
Yes.
that doesn't show?
Yeah, it
A little
shows.
bit.
Yeah,
A
it
little bit.
shows.
Okay. And while I was scribbling, I was like, "Oh, this is a tough drawing. This is a very tough drawing." So I'm pretty much sure that I'm gonna have to do a blocking of a drawing, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to cheat because your head is at an angle here. And the true mark of a good draftsperson,
To never move the paper.
exactly, you should always be able to draw the angle of whatever you're, whatever pose, let's say in a human figure, if you're talking about like life drawing or anything
Yeah.
like that, if you're doing a reclining pose, and if forms present themselves as unfamiliar to you, you're just drawing what you see and you don't move anything. You just check your distances and angles, and you're very disciplined.
So that's what's supposed to
that's
be.
what's supposed to happen. But I'm not a disciplined draftsperson, so I am sure that this drawing, when I flip it, when I just rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, it's gonna look like a mess. So first step is just me doing my best. Second step is me rotating it.
Fixing.
Yeah, and fixing it.
Yeah.
I wish we could do this right now, but if people knew how difficult it is to fix the distortion in our setup, so you can
'cause you
get
can
a
see-
somewhat
you can-
regular proportion.
I'm sorry, you can see that the page, like the paper,
Yeah,
is kind
a
of
little wonky, a little.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but if you would see it
Oh, no.
without the distortion,
Oh, it's
crazy. 'Cause
Tons of like exaggerated perspective
Yeah.
because the camera has to be like in front of me almost instead of above me. Because if it's above me,
But
all
in
you would
front
see it's
and
the back
on
of my
top.
head. Yeah.
So it's like very
Exactly. Yeah,
angled.
it's hovering over me, but it's like it's not right here. Let's say if you can see my hand, it's like up here. And
Yes.
if it was right here, all I could draw was just a big egghead right here. So nobody wants to see that. Or maybe some people. Some of you are freaks. So maybe some of you want to see the back of my head. But, that's our OnlyFans, which is our second. No? Okay, so that's not what we're going to do. But let's keep that in the back burner. Let's put a pin on that. OnlyFans for the back of my head. What did you get?
No, like a
Notice of.
prevent and reduce the occurrence of image retention. Please execute picture.
Oh, no. Don't worry. That's from my screen.
Okay.
So I'll do that. It's an OLED screen. So OLED screens, they burn in. They have burn in. So if you have an image stay in the same place for too long.
I have to move the.
Well, not move, or just click like another window. So yeah. Or just go to another window. But don't
Okay.
worry. So that screen has a thing that you tell it to refresh, or you tell the pixels to refresh or something like that, and it
I
does
think
that.
I get
It takes like
Yeah.
6 minutes.
Okay. Perfect.
I can explain that even further if you want. I can bore everyone to death.
So
What was I saying?
Will be was saying that he's here for your OnlyFans. So
I knew
think
it.
You,
He's the. I mean,
you could talk about that with
will
him
be. I mean,
afterwards.
that's gonna
I'm
be
not gonna be part of that, but
my only fan. So the
Yeah,
it's
you have one
$15.
fan,
The
yeah.
sole 15 quid. That's gonna be
only fan.
every
yeah.
month. Yeah, only will be actually. There's a site that you could
Yeah.
potentially call onlywillbe.com.
Yeah.
And it would be his demise. But yeah, so the camera has to be up top if you don't want to see my head, and then we have to fix the distortion with a plugin that OBS has, which is really, really good. It's called like 3D effects or something like that.
Yeah.
And if I were to move this piece of paper, oh my god, the world ends. Everything is just goes to hell.
But I also like that. I mean, it's like the real behind the scenes.
Yeah. Oh, it's
I
terrible.
mean, you're talking about what you are really gonna do, which is turn the paper and just
oh yes.
adjust
Yeah,
it.
I'm not gonna.
And
lie.
I think that's a great like window of conversation to talk about what's
Um,
gonna be the
a
Patreon.
segue,
A
one would
great
say.
segue, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that the thing that's most exciting, at least for me, if
Yeah.
I was going to join the Patreon,
Okay.
is that it is very. I mean, it's like being with you when you paint. So it's
Yes.
like a peek to your brain when
Inside my
you
brain. Yeah.
yeah, when you paint. So it's all the thought process, but
Mhm.
also the artists that come to you, like the references you have in your mind,
Yep. Yep.
all the process, all
Yep.
the times when you struggle,
Yep.
all the times when you like get to something that you really like,
Yeah.
and it is all in real time, so you could see.
Yeah.
So it's not like an edited video, but you could
No.
see. It's like a. That's why I'm saying like more in depth. It's like the whole session
Yeah.
of what's going on while you paint. But
So, I'll start drawing, but I just want to get this out of the way because maybe it's a little bit hard for me to speak about the patron and draw at the same time. But yeah, what Danny's saying is exactly right. We thought about this for a long time, and we've been looking at patron from other very successful artists and people that not are not artists either. So we just want to have a sense of what is expected, when you're proposing people to subscribe to your patron. And we realized that we don't want to do, or it doesn't suit us to do what everyone does. I think that if there is like a sort of how to, or a very very academic approach to certain patrons, that's great, and there's
yeah,
some absolutely wonderful artists out there that are doing that. And I don't think our purpose is to compete with any of those people because I think they're doing all a wonderful job.
yeah,
And I don't think that it would be right to just say, well, if we are hoping to do well, we just need those people to migrate to our patron. I don't like that. I've never liked that. I've always felt that if artists are to succeed, is because it's not because you're stealing away somebody else's potential market, like what would happen in
yeah.
galleries, for
It's not like
example.
to emulate
No,
what
no, no.
someone else does.
But when you do well, is because you are doing you. You're doing the only thing that you can do, and there is a connection, that people have with what you do.
And I would also say, I'm sorry,
No, don't worry.
that we were trying to understand how it could fit our life
Yeah.
and the way you work, like the,
Yes.
the rhythm in which you work,
Yeah.
so it doesn't feel forced,
Yep.
but it just flows like
Naturally,
very
organically.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's how it's going. Because, by the way,
Yep.
there was a question because we were
Oh, so
gonna
if you
get
let me
into the
finish
questions,
the
but no,
thought.
I was just
Okay.
gonna say that um, there were people asking if there's gonna be content
Yes.
once
Oh, yeah.
we launch, and
Of
of
course.
course it is.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
we already have
So,
content over there, so
so let me finish what I was
getting a little bit ahead of
saying. Yeah,
myself.
yeah, no, but and thank you for that, Danny. But so going back to what Danny was saying at the beginning, what we thought was best for us to propose to our audience was to say, well, we've done hundreds and hundreds of videos for the OPL YouTube channel, and how can we do something that feels complementary to all those videos that we've worked so hard to put up there. And what we realized is that what we were missing perhaps with the OPL videos was just more of a instead of jumping a ton of stages in the making of a painting, because OPL really really relied upon just the making of a painting, and then you seeing a painting and the painting kind of fitting around a set theme that was thought by us. At the beginning of the week, we were like, okay, this is a theme for the week, and we can kind of place these sort of paintings around this theme. But it was very reliant upon the finished painting.
Yeah.
Everything was reliant upon the finished painting. The editing that Danny was doing was geared towards the making of that painting.
The audio
Obviously,
was done afterwards,
exactly.
so
The
it's
audio
like a
was
reflection of, but
exactly,
not a real
exactly.
time of.
And the success of the channel, because we don't really make money off of our YouTube channel. That's quite obvious if you see how many subscribers we have. Um, but the success of what we were doing depended on trying to sell a painting. Like all this time, it's dependent on selling the painting. So that's totally fine because most of us depend on selling our work, and that's perfectly fine. But what that really meant is that all the weight had to be bared by that painting. Bear bore had to be bore by that painting. I forget.
That doesn't sound right, but
bear bore. No,
I
had to
mean,
be.
I don't know how to say.
Yeah,
I mean, I mispronunciate a lot of words, so I'm
pronounce.
not one
So that was
to be
perfect.
trusted. But
That's perfect.
I think that sounds bad.
Yeah, no, bore.
Bore?
Bore.
I don't know.
The
Maybe
weight-
it's someone
The
that's
weight that has to be
native
bore by the
speaker.
painting.
I'm sorry, your head's like
B-O-R-E.
popping
Oh,
more
sorry.
and more. It's
Oh,
like you're
okay.
just gonna
I mean,
smash the paper
want-
in any second.
I need the 15 quid from Wilby.
Please.
So, I need to get him excited at some level. So, no, so the painting was bearing all of that weight, all of the weight. And if for the patron, of course, we're going to be doing drawings and paintings, but it's going to be about every step of the making of those drawings and paintings, and every bit of the thought process that accompanies that,
Yep.
which is like super, super, super interesting. So we never had the chance to really kind of stop and say like, okay, what if this little part of the making of something is a video? And what if this, almost like satellite idea in the making of this image is also a video? And it could be a video like an hour-long video.
Yeah.
Or like an hour and a half long video. It doesn't have to be like super, super long.
Yeah.
But what if we dedicate time to just talking about that moment of the, thought process of the picture making? And it's been super, super exciting. We obviously have some content for people, and I think it's content that we both agree that would be almost like setting the tone for what you can expect from the patron.
Yep.
So it's very, I don't know. I'd like to say I kind of like that what we've always done that has a level of honesty to it. Like it's never a perfectly produced videos. Like you'll see, I was very confident in understanding the audio settings.
I don't
the
know if
OBS
people saw
audio settings.
the reel
Yeah.
that we made.
And I was like, Danny, I'm good. I can do these audio settings by
and it's
myself.
not because I didn't want to do it. You were like,
No.
you know what? I want to try to do it.
No, we're married. You trust me now. So
Well,
now.
After
A little
that,
bit
I
more.
don't know.
Oh yeah. It's been gone. The trust is now gone.
Yeah, but he was like, oh, I want to to be in charge of the audio for this session.
no,
just for this one,
or
I
I don't
mean-
want to bother you. So I'm like,
No,
no,
and I'm
I
like,
think I could do
I'm not
this.
bothered. I mean, he was like, no, I know how to do it. And
think this
the
is-
audio was
Oh,
like,
terrible. I was thinking, so my audio input, so I could bore people and tell them exactly what happened because I know why I messed up. But what I didn't realize is that the audio input, because I hadn't turned on the audio,
monitor.
what is it? The audio monitor that the microphone that you're using, the Elgato microphone that you're using.
Elgato?
Elgato. Yeah, it's not Elgato. No, because that would seem like
Elgato.
that would seem like San Andresito. That's the only place where you can
No,
get
but
Elgato
Elgato, no,
microphones.
no.
I don't know. But Elgato. It's Elgaro. Elgaro. Elgaro.
No. Is
That's-
that the?
No, it's Elgato, but
It's
my
like, no, I mean-
pronunciation is Elgaro.
Yeah, terrible.
Anyways, that comes with a monitor, a little, I don't even know if it's called a monitor, but it's a little plug-in thing that it has a great like noise suppression plug-in thing or
So that
whatever.
You're going and
Yeah,
going
yeah.
and going.
And that should have been on, but I didn't turn it on. So OBS thought the audio input
So
was
long
the
story
camera,
short,
was the
the
camera.
audio captured was by the camera that's
Yeah.
on top of Nicola's head,
Yeah, so it
not
sounds like
the mic.
yeah. And who knows, this Sony camera that's like really expensive and it's quite beautiful and it's served us wonderfully. The audio is crap.
No, it's not crap. It's
oh, it's
more
crap. It's horrendous.
ambient,
No, it's horrendous.
I would say, because
No,
it
it's
captured
tin can.
like Oh, even
No.
like the
Oh my god.
train that
Yeah.
goes like 2 blocks
Oh, it was.
away from us.
I have no idea how it was missing my voice,
But it
but
was
picking
capturing
up the
everything.
traffic
Yeah.
outside.
Dogs barking,
Oh, like a hummingbird.
taxis,
Yeah, no,
everything.
everything. I was like, yeah, this is an incredible microphone, to be honest, but it was horrible.
Not for this, but yeah.
So one of those videos has like a little mess up that is not so terrible.
No, I mean it's hearable. It's
Hearable.
listenable.
I mean, no.
You
Well,
can listen to it,
I think you can add "able" to any word. So,
so
yeah,
you can
maybe
listen to it,
you
but
could listen to it. Yeah, one could, listen to it
no. And the content of it is very
in the same way that you
good.
could listen to lightning or something.
No, I mean you're
I don't
being
know if
very
it's pleasurable.
exaggerated.
No, no, no. So that one we didn't do anything to because we were like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. You know this. If you're OPL fans, it's fine is our motto. It's
Your
always been
your
my motto. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
no.
I mean, years of happiness have come from that motto. Like saying it's fine. How's the food? It's fine.
Nicolas, go ahead. I
Okay.
don't know where you were going. With
I don't
that.
either. But anyways,
We were
so the
talking about
audio is
the
terrible. So there's
content.
There's one video where the audio is off. Then there's one video where the audio was horrendous.
And I fixed
Danny
it.
did her best.
I mean, yeah.
You did your best to fix it, and it's way, way better.
You recorded 2 videos
Yeah, so
with
one of them.
your audio setup.
No, you know what's weird? That I had actually recorded like 2 others before that, and they were perfect. They're
Mhm.
totally fine. Like I was on my game. And then something happened. I just get distracted. It's my fault. I have to admit it. But then, so those 2 videos, one of them was horrendous, and you saved it, which I'm very grateful for. And then, the other one is just, it's me messing up. But I think,
that's not the only content because you're just like selling it so wrong.
yeah. Oh, there's other stuff that's even more
No.
horrible.
No.
No,
You're just
everything is
being-
fine. No, the content. So this is the thing. I think that what is being said and the what the conversation revolves around in those videos, I think it's wonderful, and I would 100% listen to it, even if the audio is a bit off, because I know that the content is going to be good. So I think that that's the key in what we're going to do. Content will always be good. I think that what we are trying to do
Yeah.
with the videos is not just to give you stuff that you could just listen or not to it, or you could mute it because you just want to see the making of the painting. I think this is something that you want to listen to while we're working. So, and these are I'm also talking while I work, unlike what I'm doing right now. But I'll start in a second, I promise. But so it's not one of those things that you could speed up. I mean, you could always speed it up in YouTube because these are like unlisted YouTube videos. So you could speed them up if you want. But I would say, hey, if you want company and if you want to understand like the pacing of thought process and the idea surrounding the making of something, then it's kind of chill and mellow and you just kind of listen to it. And I think it'll be great company. And I really do think that it's content that we didn't really find somewhere else. So I think what we're going to do.
I also think, I'm sorry, I
No,
interrupted,
go ahead.
but I also think that
Let
we
me draw,
were
Danny.
trying.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
please.
Jesus Christ.
we were trying to like find the middle point between, because we really like the videos, like the idea we had behind the OPL original videos, but we also felt that there were a lot of people saying, yeah, I like that, but I would love to see it in real time.
Yeah.
Like, I know that you could like make it slower, the video, like change the speed on it and see it slowly, but it was still accompanied by a reflection upon the painting.
Yes.
It was not like your real thinking process. And
Yeah.
the streamings, like the live videos that we made, it was more of a conversation. So we were talking with everyone.
Yeah.
So you and I and everyone, we were all having a conversation while you were drawing or painting. But
Yes.
this one's different because this one, that's why I was saying that it feels like having a peek to your brain while you work.
Yeah.
Because you're not talking about food or
I mean, we're gonna miss those food
Yeah, no,
conversations, the
that was
foodie
great, but that was like
conversations that we
having
have in the
yeah, but that
live
was like
videos.
having a conversation.
Yes.
But this one's like getting to know the thought process that's going on your head
Yeah.
while you're painting or while you're drawing
Yes.
or while you are trying to like get the sense of the image that you want to do. So all the ideas you have, all the sketches, the paintings, the, as I was saying, like the reference, like the artist reference that you're thinking about.
Yeah.
So it's
Sometimes not even. I did one. I recorded one yesterday that where the the prompt of the image came from something else, like what spurred what I wanted to do with that particular image was initially something completely different, and like I showcase it and I show like the steps that my brain took, like going from one image to another to another to
yeah.
another, until I landed on, in this particular one was Phil Hale. And I was like, yes, that's where I can kind of understand what I like, the vibe I want for the painting. um, but it took me a little bit to get to that. And those little steps that actually were helping me get to how to understand it as a painting are super, super like important. They're indispensable in image making, because you can't just be. I mean, no, well, I want to refrain myself from saying you can't, because this is not going to be a channel that like our patron is not going to be full of content that
A
says this is what you
platform
can do,
in
or
the channel, yeah.
right, this is what you can do and this is what you can't do, or this is what you
No, no,
should
it's more
do, this
about
is what you shouldn't
how
do.
you do it. It's like
Yeah.
sharing how you do it. And I also like that we can create with the patron like a closer community. So you're sharing what you're doing and you're sharing all the process of what you're doing. And there's going to be places where people that join the patron can also share.
Yes.
Like it's like sharing the work you're doing while you're working. I don't know if that makes sense. It's not like, oh, I did this and I'm talking about this now that I have the finished painting. It's not that what Nicolas is doing, but this
Yeah.
is what I'm doing in the moment I'm doing it, and
Yeah.
I'm sharing it with you guys while I struggle with it or while I succeed with it, or I mean, however it turns out,
Yeah.
but it's like the real process of it. And I think that's what we really like, and that's why we are very excited for the patron,
Yeah.
because the pacing of it is very different. It's
Yeah.
very like, I don't know, like real. I don't know how else to describe it, but
Yeah. I think that if I could put it into words, I remember people, in workshops that I did, or in the online classes that we would do, um, they would tell me how, sometimes videos would convey the idea, and for sure edited videos would convey the idea that it's easy to make a painting.
Mhm.
It's very natural to
yeah,
make a
no
painting.
struggles.
No, you just kind of make a painting.
I mean, at the end,
You
you're just seeing a 20-minute edited video.
yeah,
So it's like you can see sometimes when you struggled for a complete hour and you
Yeah.
just like scraped everything or just like redid the same part for
oh,
40
it's
minutes because you were really
yeah,
struggling. And I would also say that, I mean, we've even talked about this, but when you were talking about it afterwards, like you could remember that you were struggling at a given point, but it's not the same to talk about it afterwards
yeah,
than to be talking about it while you
yeah,
struggle and while you get out of that trouble.
yeah. I did a super kind of nice but simple painting, um, for the first kind of video that we were putting together. Let's say that kind of landed on a painting. So it was a somewhat simple painting of you, and there were areas of that painting that I was literally saying while I was working, I don't know how to paint this, because I don't really understand like the laws that sort of govern what I'm about to paint. You know, if you're painting just like a naturalist painter, you sort of have this idea of what natural law is. Like you're trying to be faithful to nature and you understand sort of the makeup of nature. But as soon as you start to step away from that a little bit, even a little bit, and you become a little more expressive or more abstract, then it's very, very difficult to hang on to anything. So what you're really going for is just fundamental things like kind of rhythm, let's say, or just shapes, very, very abstract shapes, or if we mix those two, like the rhythm of those shapes, like the choreography of those shapes. And you have to pay so much attention to what you're doing that I remember just saying like, I don't know. I don't know how to anticipate this painting. Well, not this paint. I'm sorry. Not this painting, but this area of a painting. Like this little instance of a painting. I really don't know what it's going to look like. I have a sense of what I'm going for, but I don't know exactly what it is that it's going to look like. In a sense, like I've painted, for example, I've painted you, hundreds of times. Well, maybe over 100 times, let's say. And I kind of know what to expect, in terms of form when I'm painting you. But, painting these little moments of a painting where I just don't know what they're supposed to look like, but all I'm searching for is like the role that they have to play in the painting, trying to recognize what I want them to do in a painting and then searching for that. That is like super, super cool. And I was just, as I was painting, I was saying, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I actually liked that I saw myself saying, like, I don't know, because I've always felt that feeling of I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I'm going to have to adjust it. I don't know if I'm going to have to make changes to it. But the truth is, I don't know. And it's very difficult to convey that feeling when all you see is just the making of a painting
Yeah.
that ends up, where you kind of see the finished product, and the finished product has so much weight to it that you're thinking, oh, this is what was important, just the
Yeah.
making of this image, and look at it. It's a nice image in the end. So yeah, it wasn't a struggle. So I think that what we now have the opportunity to do is say, hey, that's not what painting felt like for us, during all these years. That's not, if you talk to painters, that's not what usually painting feels like. I mean, there's paintings that you just breeze through them, but they're so far and few that, you can't recognize that as rule. You can't really say that that's what consistently happens when you make a painting. But what does happen is that you struggle and you have to think about it really hard, and you have to try things, and then you have to evaluate, and then you have to make adjustments and changes. And that's what real painting feels like. So I think a lot of what we're going to do falls into the category of, hey, how do we feel comfortable in that area where we're afraid, where we don't know? And how can we kind of like teach our brain or fill our brain with information to say, hey, these are the things that can help me, that can aid me, traverse this passage of like this uncharted territory. This is what's going to kind of help me out when I have to remind myself, why was I painting this? Like, I have no idea what this is going to look like, but what was it that was spurring it? Like, what was it that excited me about this? So it's going to be really cool, I feel. It's
Yeah.
very, very different from what, at least from what I have done in the past. It's almost going to feel more like just if we were in a classroom together.
Yeah, it's like
And if-
working right, but like with you by your side.
yeah,
It's-
and that
and I mean,
yes,
I
not doing anything.
no,
So
that's what I was gonna
thank you.
say. I was gonna
Thank
say,
you.
if someone's new here,
this is
it's
what you can
Nico-
expect. 4 lines.
it's not
Our
Nico-
patron is 4
4
lines.
lines and 100 hours of
Yeah, yeah,
Nicolas
yeah.
speaking.
The
No,
first month
the good
is going
thing
to
is that
be
he
30
can.
videos,
No.
each video of a line.
In the videos, you are speaking while working. 'Cause
I don't
every
know if I
time
can
you-
sell that.
every
I don't know if I
time
can
you're-
sell that.
Every time you're saying a word, you just
I stop.
that's what.
Stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because this is a live video. This is like
Yeah. And
we're
you're
in
just
our living
looking at
room.
me. That's
I
why I'm
know,
like
I'm just-
laughing. I'm like, what? Are
I
you
know. If you want, like, I'll stop and then I'll just begin to draw. But like, come on. This is all of these have taken a lot of brain power
That's
to
while
establish
I
a lot of
talk.
these. So
Once you talk, you stop. But no, that's not how it goes in the patron.
No, because nothing would be done if that was the case.
100 videos.
I mean, paintings are being painted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I promise.
Portrait number 1, part 100.
Yeah. That's gonna be exciting. That's where it starts to get good.
Yeah.
And the part one, once you're 40 hours into, it's almost like a bad video game. It's like after the 25-hour mark, it begins to get good.
So, Emily Hales, hey Emily, was saying, will there be live videos on the Patreon? Yes.
So we thought about this, and I love doing videos with you, Danny. I love it. I love.
Thank you.
And I think people, part of OPL working and having the identity that it had, was you. Was because of you. No, because I'm looking at you. You're valuable to this. I'm looking at you.
You're even like dropping the pencil. What is this?
I'm not doing anything today.
we have to change the
nothing is being
camera
done today.
just to face us.
No. That's the bad thing. No, I'm actually saying something nice.
Thank you.
I think that OPL would have never worked if it wasn't for you.
Thank you.
And we thought about what we could do together, and
I love to be in the behind the scenes too.
Yes, I mean you're indispensable, but
no. Like I love that part. Like when it was hidden.
Yeah,
hidden me.
But it's also nice when people see you.
No, it is very nice. It's just it makes me a little bit nervous.
I love your input, and I think you're an amazing artist. And what we thought was we could do like a show and tell.
Yep.
So we could do a couple of live videos every month. I'm gonna get to drawing. I'm serious. We could do a couple of live videos every month, and where you would bring like a book that you want to share, or like an artist, illustrator that you want to share, or like a sculptor that you want to share. You can talk about them. You can say, why you like them, and then I could do the same in another video. And because we're also going to have a Discord in our Patreon, because usually patrons are accompanied by Discords, we also encourage people to show their work.
Yep.
And if you saw a video that had a little bit of resonance, and you were like, hey, this
video.
Yeah, if you saw a video in our Patreon.
If someone, because you're.
Yeah, not if you, Danny.
If
one
because you were
saw
saying show and tell, and then you said if you
or
saw a video.
If you viewer, if you subscriber saw a video that you were like, hey, I think I can put this to good use also in my work, and you want to showcase your work, or you want to tell us what you've been working on, if you're working on a series of paintings, and you want to share that, and if that's something that, for example, Danny liked, and they can say like, oh, for example, just to pick on Wilby, like. Danny could say, "Oh, look at Alex's Wilby paintings; they're awesome."
Yeah,
and
it's
this. I love this
we would love
particular
to
like
do the
explosion painting, which is I think it's one of Alex's like best paintings. But if you want to showcase it and kind of speak about it and say why it moved you, that would be. I know you're smirking. I know I got to work. I know I have to.
No.
If you want, I can talk about how difficult
if you want to, yeah. No, I was just gonna say a little thing that. That's the idea we have for the lives, but we really want to have that space to also connect with all the community in the Patreon.
Yes.
So as you were saying, we could talk about the work that people are doing, or maybe the work, for example, that I'm doing.
Yes,
that
also.
I'm not showing in the Patreon, but I can show it in that live sessions.
Yes, of course.
Like I could share with everyone that, or we could talk about things that were maybe interesting in the Discord. That past weeks or whatever. So yeah, we are definitely thinking about live videos for the Patreon.
Yes.
So if you want to go ahead, and then I'll.
Yeah. So this is a tough drawing because can you tell what it is? I mean.
Yeah, I know what it is.
In the video, but do the 30
30
lines? Do the 30 videos of 30 lines show what I'm trying to do?
I could see the reclined face.
Yeah. It's okay. I think it's okay. I don't know if my angles are super right, but it's super nice because it's one of those sort of cascading images, that they start here and they just kind of build up speed and they kind of fade as you go down. So what am I thinking of? Like a Degas, maybe kind of sketch. Those are really beautiful. Or maybe like a Howard Pyle that are like either top heavy or bottom heavy. I know, Danny.
You're just only looking at me, so I don't know. It makes me giggle, but
no, this is the most I've looked at you
Yeah, I'm
in
like,
like
what's
since
going
we got
on? Yeah.
married. It's like, God, this is uncomfortable now.
Cobra Costello using a woman lying on her side. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the 30 lines show.
Okay, so see, patron works. Um, yeah, yeah. So this is just Danny kind of resting her head on her hand right here, and this is her shoulder here, kind of like a foreshortened arm right here, hand just kind of resting super super nicely on top of like Chili's back, and then this is going to be Chili's head here, and then these are like sheets and pillows, and just again like a little abstract moment, but the important thing is that it sort of cascades down kind of beautifully, like super organically. So I want the painting to be less, a little bit more, the most, and then it goes less. It dissolves. So it's a nice kind of build up and vertical flow of the painting, having the sort of knot at the middle. The little kind of focus area of the drawing is going to be at the middle. But here's the thing: it's super super tough because the drawing of the head, it's tipped down. You're looking downwards, so it's actually kind of a head that's tipped down. It's kind of burrowed in your chest just a little bit, like your chin is almost like touching like your sternum. It would be so it's kind of burrowed. So that's difficult. That's a difficult thing to have to deal with. The angle of it, it's gonna kill me. It's gonna absolutely kill me. This is not at all like my strength to just do like a drawing in sort of Barg style to kind of do the all these like bigger diagonals at the beginning. I'm okay with drawing that way, but I'm not. That's not how I understood drawing for the longest time. So but I know that if I just go, if I just kind of say, oh, I'm going to trust my kind of wonky drawing and let's see what happens, I know I'm going to be very off. I know it. I know this about myself. Like it would probably take me around 5 or 10 drawings to sort of understand I would probably just do like 5 drawings, 5 very quick drawings, or 6, very quick drawings, then a little bit longer drawings. So let's say if I could do the drawing in 4 to 5 minutes, I would do 5 or 6 of those, and then I would do 4 where I would take 10 minutes. And after that, I would say, okay, I think I understand what I'm supposed to be drawing, which is really great because sometimes we think drawing has to be perfect. Like every single line has to be perfect. The first time you sit down to draw, it has to be perfect. Like it's almost as if the purpose of drawing is to produce a single perfect drawing. And that's nonsense. That's absurd. Drawing is supposed to teach you things. It's supposed to be like a tool that, disentangles a horrible knot that is created when you recognize a problem that you're supposed to solve. So because I'm trying to do like what would be a sort of underdrawing for a painting, so I don't need it to be like a really really tight drawing, but I need my spaces to be right. So what do I mean by my spaces to be right? I know that there's a bed sheet here, there's like a little sheet here, and there's an elbow here. So I want this space and I want the elbow here. I could have opted to have the elbow here and have like a super tight composition, but I wasn't going to do that. I was like, no, that's a little too tight. I need that space because I need something that says air. It's as important to hit my drawing, but is all than to say like, than to have like complementary, as it is to have complementary areas where you can kind of stop and say, okay, I can rest here, or I can build something from here. So I needed that space. So I marked this little distance here and said, okay, my elbow is going to be here. And then you have your hair sort of resting right here. And I don't mind this being really, really tight here. Like, so if you can see, there's like almost no space between the little bit of your hair there and the edge of the paper. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with not trying to balance like this side with this side. So air, give it some air here, give it some air here, give it some air here. That's a very traditional way of painting the figure. But I think post, for sure, latter half of the 20th century, it's very nice a figure that is also uncomfortable or conscious within the picture plane.
Mhm.
That is a very, very contemporary way of understanding the figure. It's not a figure that's trying to fit into the beautifully composed, like setup. Let's say, like the setting up of forms, the disposing of forms in a picture plane. No, like a contemporary figurative painting and for sure the idea that was born from latter half 20th century painting or image making is one that figures kind of echo the sort of uncomfortable sense of inhabiting a world. So it's not perfect, it's not quite right, it's not, everything is not just perfectly placed, perfectly composed. um, but there still is like a sense of familiarity to it. I think that there's a very human way of reacting to those very awkward compositions. So these little moments that carry a ton of tension are fine, are totally fine if you know how to deal with them. And I especially like them. I really, really, really like them. There's a ton of painters nowadays that do that, masterfully. But I really, really like them. So I don't mind my hair just being super tight there. Um, so then I have to go down here. Hand is tucking in underneath the hair. It's super, super nice because all I see is like a bit of your palm. And then you can kind of feel that little bit of the hand just jutting out, and the wrist here, still at an angle. And then there's a little bit of the pillow, the large pillow of the couch there. So that's really nice. So a lot of this is framing, as important as it's going to be to hit this moment of the portrait, because it's such a tender painting that this has to be right. If this is ugly, like ugly in the sense that if I'm searching for tenderness, if it's almost like you're trying to draw like a cute baby, and if you're trying to draw a cute baby and you end up just doing like a monster baby, then that's not what you want to do. Monster babies, nothing wrong with them. Egon Schiele did some of the coolest baby drawings ever, and they're kind of monstrous, but they're amazing. They're absolutely incredible, and they feel like newborns also. But in here, I want tenderness. I want it. Sometimes we mistake and we mistake that we our efforts in trying to be honest always have to feel raw, and that's totally fine. But in the same way, I think that the word pretty is fine, or the word nice is fine. Like, it's such a nice feeling. I think tenderness is also kind of fine, when you are, searching for something that moves you in a painting. And I think this is very, very tender. Like the relationship that you have with Chili is super beautiful. So it's not like heavy. It's
Mhm.
always very, very tender and very soft and very nice. And so, that's what I'm trying to paint. So why is this important? Because if I don't hit my drawing there, it's almost like this is my basket and I'm putting all my eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
And if I don't hit my drawing there, then I can't convey what I want to convey. Maybe I could paint your head and it's fine as a head of a figure that's kind of,
Yeah,
reclining,
but
and
it's
you're
not successful in the metrics of what you want the painting
exactly.
to
So
be.
if I already established that, no, that I want tenderness, I want that. Like, that is why I'm painting this. I should never convince myself just because I can't draw it easily that I should do something else. That I should turn it into, oh no, let's just make it into abstract shapes. Let's make this painting Vuillard, and let's just make them abstract shapes. Just boop, boop, rhythm of shapes, and we're done. Pattern, we're fine. Painting saved, and it became something else. Because you're always going to be frustrated that you wanted to paint something, you wanted to solve something that had like a tone to it, and you just couldn't do it. But not because you were incapable of doing it, but just because you gave up easily on
Mhm.
it. So I'm not going to give up easily on it, and I'm going to struggle with it because I already know that I'm going to struggle. I know, I identify those things while I'm working, and I already know that it's going to be a tough ride. But it's one that I'm just 100% willing to sort of a problem or a challenge that I'm willing to undertake, let's say.
So, mm, I don't know how to read it. Horic, maybe Horic.
Yeah, that's your guess is as good as mine.
They were saying these explanations are very nice. Thanks. For a beginner trying to figure out the reasoning only from final painting, it's sometimes very hard to know why it works.
Excellent. That's super super cool because I have a ton. I think we both do have a ton of compassion to what it feels like to be starting
Yeah.
something, like to feel like you're drawing for the first time or you're painting for the first time. In your case, if you're, sculpting for the first time, if you're carving for the first time, like there is so much, like such a huge world of insecurity and the unknown that
I
it's
would even
so.
add, I'm
Yes, go
sorry,
ahead.
for the first time, and that for me means like every time I start.
Oh, for you
Because
and everyone, yes.
it feels sometimes like even if you've done the same thing for a year, 2 years, or it's the first time, or you have 10 years of making it, it sometimes feels so big.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like you're just starting for the first time. But what were you gonna say? I'm
No,
sorry, I
no, no.
interrupted
It
you.
was totally going off to that point that I think I mentioned it in a video that we recorded for the patron, but it's about understanding that sense of fear
Hmm.
and not thinking that you're supposed to just overcome fear, overcome it, and gain courage from either your ability or the way you prepare yourself. Now there's always going to be fear, always, always. There's going to be a sense of like something unknown being super super necessary for your painting or your sculpture to succeed. So I think that it's more about getting used to that feeling
Like
than,
feeling comfortable
yeah,
to
than
sit
thinking
with
like,
that
oh yeah, I
fear. Yeah.
overcame it, like I'm so good now. I've worked my 1,000 hours of drawing, that I'm such a good draftsperson now that I don't feel afraid anymore. It's like, no, you should always feel afraid. You should always feel like you're tapping into something that's unknown, because I think that that's when your brain is firing like at all cylinders. Like you're really struggling. You're like fighting to try to figure something out, which is probably the most beautiful thing that can happen in art, when you really sense like the artist just clawing their way through something, like really trying to make sense of something. It's beautiful. So anyways,
Yeah. Nada B. Oh, or maybe Nada B.
okay,
Because it's in English.
okay, yeah, yeah.
They were saying, I'm so excited about the patron. A dream comes true.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
so
That's
nice.
super generous.
And
Thank you.
they were saying, are the spots gonna be limited? Please say no. Haha.
No, 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 not at
No.
all. So what we have is actually like a single tier.
One tier.
Yeah, we have
And
like
$10.
it's called the chili tier.
Of
Of course,
course.
it had to be like a chili
I
tier,
mean,
and it's $10, and
yes.
so everyone gets everything that we do. We have struggled in trying to think about having like a mentorship tier.
But we're starting with the 10,
Yeah,
like
we
with the single tier.
yes, we're only going to do that at the beginning. If we see that we can work with a healthy community, and if it is something that we can fit into the making of all the content that we're doing, we'll contemplate doing like a mentorship. But for now, we don't want to sort of cut into the time of making the videos that we want to make. We don't have a set number of videos that we want to make each month, but if you know us, it's always we're always
It's
on.
like ongoing.
Yeah, we're always on. We're always gonna have to. We're always gonna have things to talk about. We're always gonna be making images. We're always gonna be finding ways. Like,
Yeah, it's not gonna be like, oh, there's a month that they haven't uploaded one
nah,
single thing. No.
dude. If you know anything about us,
No.
we're not lazy. We are not lazy.
No, and not only
So,
lazy,
and
but
we love to do this. So
yeah, I mean, this is what we do all the
yeah,
time.
yes, yes.
So we just wake up and start doing things. So
Yeah, so there's I think we're going to be generous with the content, and we're not going to put pressure on ourselves to say, because that's what we used to do in OPL. We were like, yeah, daily videos,
yeah,
so
5
5 videos
videos
a
a
week.
week. That was
Woof, that's super tough. I
and
know that.
edited videos. 5
Yeah, I
edited
know that.
videos a week.
I know that we don't want to stay there for a long time, but it would, if you've ever done edited videos, and if you've ever tried to do it for as long as we attempted to do, you know how difficult it
And
is.
without any help, because it was
Yeah,
just you and
no,
I.
it was very, 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 very difficult. And our life kind of, I mean, we were very grateful, but our life was suffering for making videos like that. So we know what it means to just tell yourself, okay, there's going to be 5 videos a week all the time, every month, every week, every month, every year. No, now we trust ourselves to say, no, no, no. We understand that we love to work, that we love to produce stuff, that we love to make content and different types of content also. So we're always going to be on. We're always going to be working, and we
I'm
we
sorry.
kind of want to also have the give people the feeling that we're working alongside them.
Yes, that's why I was saying that it's like I don't know how to even explain that, but it's like working with you,
Yes.
like working with all of you, all the people that join the Patreon. And that's why I was saying, I mean, we will be very excited to
Will
see
be.
all the things that you're doing and that you want to share. Or maybe if you don't want to share because you just want to work but not share the work you do with
Oh
us,
yeah,
that's fine
lurkers
too. But
are welcome.
yeah, but because that's the type of content um consumer I am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're more of a lurker. Me too. I feel way more comfortable
Yes
just
and no.
no, no, no. And
I
if I
think I'm
feel like
more.
I want to engage with something, I totally
Yeah.
do. But I like to start kind of feeling my way through content.
So everything's invited. I mean, if you
Yeah,
want
all
to
of it.
share like your daily progress, that's invited too.
Oh,
If you
100%.
don't want to share it, that's invited too. But we do want to feel people to feel that they are working with us. Like we are working, you're working with we're just like
Yeah.
we're with you in this.
Yeah,
We're
so instead of like having like
I'm
an
sorry, I'm getting out of a cold. I'm trying
oh
not to
no.
cough, but
Danny, by the way, was dying for the last like
not
two and a
dying,
half
but
weeks maybe. And some of the videos, and we apologize for this, but once again, this is about you, being part of our lives at this
don't
moment
even
in time.
I don't think we even have to apologize. I mean, it's like everyone's seeing how you are working and
Yeah.
I was sick. So
Yes.
I was coughing in my
Oh,
house
yeah, yeah,
while
yeah.
you were working in our house. So it's like you can hear me coughing.
I think you can get sick from the video. Like if you have your headphones a
No, but
little
it's not
too
that loud.
close.
I
No,
mean,
I was coughing
you were
a little
coughing
bit.
too.
Yeah, and because I was talking so much, like I coughed more than I could have. But I apologize for that. But once again, I can't do anything. Like I think at the end of one video, I was like, the want and the need to make content for our patron was larger than just saying like, oh, I should not be talking for like an hour and a half
And I also think
today.
that that goes to what we're saying about it feeling real,
Yes.
which is, I mean, it's not like you get the flu and you stop working. Sometimes you do because you feel very bad. But if you're coughing but you have the energy, you work.
Yes.
And even if you work in your studio or in your house or whatever, and that's what we're sharing. So you were getting out of the flu
Yeah.
and you were working,
Yeah.
and I
And
was
let's not.
very in the flu,
Yeah, and this
but I
is,
was
I mean, the
working.
sad part of that would be if you have to crunch and if somebody's expecting you to work and you just can't take time off to just rest. That would be the sad part. But the part in us, and we have to be very honest about this, like the OPL videos, the YouTube channel, oh, it was done in like super happy times. It was done in very tough times. It was done when we were feeling great and when we were feeling sick. And none of you would know because we tried to have consistency be like the sort of pillar of what we were building when we were doing the OPL videos, but we literally just worked through everything.
Yeah,
Literally
sometimes,
worked through everything.
and sometimes I would say, I mean, of course, I love that we were able to do all the videos that we did at
Yeah.
that time, but I think that sometimes it was not even healthy in the sense that
Yeah, I would say
we
so.
were working even when we knew that we couldn't work,
Yeah.
because maybe you were sick and you were working, or I was sick and I was working, or something was happening in our lives that needed immediate attention, but we couldn't do that, or we would put attention to that, but then we would do all nighters.
Yeah.
to continue editing. So it was not like a thing that could go on and on and on.
Right.
That's why I'm very excited, because I feel that the patron feels a lot like working with us again, but working in a healthy way. It's like the rhythm you would have if you go to your studio to paint or to draw or to sculpt. It's like sharing that
Yeah,
sense.
kind
It's
of like a friendly, effortless. I mean, effortless in the sense that you just feel comfortable, like comfort while you work, instead of just feeling like the weight of the work on your shoulders. But I think that we would have never been able to maintain what we do if we weren't conscious that it just has to be fun for us and it just has to be something that we enjoy. Do you want to do Chili's food and
no,
I'll
I
draw?
already did it in the machine.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
we're good, we're
I
good.
have everything for everything. I
Fa
have
fa fa
everything
fa.
prepared already. So um yeah. So we are very comfortable with the rhythm that this patron's gonna have. I think
Yes.
it's way healthier for us and also for everyone, because I think that sometimes if you have to rush something, it can show a lot.
Yes.
It's like, I have to do this painting, so I'm just gonna do whatever. I'm not saying that that was like the thing that happened all the time in OPL, but I know that there were paintings that you would have liked to take more time with them, but you couldn't,
Yeah.
because we had like a little time frame to have them done.
Yes.
But this is different. This feels like you can be open to exploring the painting for as long as you want to explore it,
Yes.
and talk about it and share all the process around it for as long as you want. So it doesn't feel limiting, which was what was happening with the videos, with the edited videos here on YouTube sometimes. So
Yeah, I think you're totally right. It's I did have a need to sort of pace images differently. I think what's because sometimes people say, "Are you going back?" You know, that's a question that I get. Are you going back to bigger compositions, bigger paintings? And I don't think they need to be necessarily bigger um, for them to be complex. I've found out about myself that I love the sort of recording, nature of painting. I really really like that, and for that feeling to be conveyed, you don't need a 3 by 4 foot canvas or a 4 by 5 foot canvas, or paintings that I would do that were I don't know 100 by 80 inches. You don't need any of that to convey the fact that you're observing the world and that you want to record not only the thing, like the subject matter that you're recording, but how you feel about the subject matter that you're recording. That to me is my life. I really feel that I've slowly identified what I think I'm good at and what where my sensibility lies in, and I think it's there. And I'm super super comfortable like admitting that. So I think that what you're saying is super true in the sense that sometimes I wish I could have spent, even in a simpler painting, I just could have spent a little more time observing it. But we had that pressure of saying, no, a painting has to be done. It
yeah.
has to be finished. It has to be like when I finish this video, there needs to be a painting that I can then post in our page that hopefully sells.
And it also happened that, because I think it happened once or maybe twice with the edited videos. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you remember one that had two sessions, because you let it dry and then you do the like the
Sort of
drawing,
overdrawing, what I
like the
call like
drawing lines. Yeah,
overdrawing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know if you remember that, but we were talking about that because you were like, no, I have to do that, so it had to dry. But then that means that I had less time to edit.
Right, right.
So I remember that we were doing like all nighters, because I was like, okay, I'm finishing the video, but now you have to do the audio, because we have to like leave it like uploading, because it
Yeah,
has to go live tomorrow.
yeah,
So that's why I was saying it was limiting sometimes, because it felt like, but I want to explore this image more, or I know that this image is asking more of me, more time,
yeah.
and I can't give it more time. So I just have to like accommodate the painting, the making of the image, into the time I have. And now we don't have that, which is amazing.
Well, now it kind of feels like, I know this is kind of ridiculous because we were setting the rules for ourselves in the OPL videos also, and also in the live videos. But for some reason we sort of got into this motion of saying, no, there has to be a painting. There has to be. It's like people expect there to be a painting now every single time. And I think it's so cool that now it almost feels like we can control that aspect a little bit more and say, yeah, this video is not about, the painting itself.
And it's
This
not like a
video,
beginning to end
no,
process
no,
painting, but this is a part of it that I'm
exactly.
sharing.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to share another one, cuz I mean, it's not like we're saying that there's not going to be videos cuz you have to take time with the paintings, but it's like there's going to be more videos cuz you're taking more time with each painting.
Yes.
So, it's like sharing that time that you need with the paintings,
Yeah.
which is great. So,
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so super excited because it was for the longest time we were struggling to try to understand if we were to do like a next step, like what would that step feel like, or what would that step be for us, without really feeling like you're making something up, like you're forcing something, or you're just like making something up and trying to convince people that this is going to be relevant or important. Like we're not about those things, and we don't want to push a product that would feel very kind of artificial. And we didn't consider, or we didn't know how to understand considering other options up until right now, where we were like, okay, this feels right. This feels like it could be our voice. This feels like it could be exactly how we go about doing things. And it feels like a progression, or like something that can be born from the needs of the other videos and paintings that we did before. So it was super nice just trying to find that space. And then when we found it, it was really cool saying like, I think we got it. I think we know what to do now.
yeah. Um Psycho Hound estaba diciendo que valioso lo que van a hacer, sobre todo en tiempos como los de hoy, donde el contenido es rápido y hay gente que piensa que la pintura o un dibujo se hace instantáneamente. Muchas gracias y sí, muy chévere porque nosotros también, lo que decía Nicolás ahorita hace un rato, y es como que muchas veces en los videos que eran editados no se podía, o sea, no se comunicaba de la misma manera los problemas que él estaba teniendo mientras pintaba, porque los estaba reflexionando ya como a posteriori. Entonces no es como verlo teniendo el problema. No es lo mismo decir, ay, ven esta pintura hecha, uff, me costó un montón. Y uno en el video, pues en el timelapse rápido dirá, pues
No parece.
no parece, sí, o sea, al final, o sea, logró como sacar la pintura y ahí, o sea, lo logró, no veo como el momento del
No le creo
problema.
casi.
Y sí, y lo que yo también decía es como no veo el inicio, el medio y el final del problema, que yo creo que eso es lo más importante cuando uno tiene como un, como un altibajo
Ujú.
en su proceso creativo, que es como no solamente cuál es el problema, sino cómo uno se da cuenta del problema y cómo uno logra salir del problema, que eso es lo que más le puede ayudar a uno como en su proceso, y, y que ver eso en el proceso de otra persona, creo que eso también puede ser súper, como que sí, como que lo puede ayudar a uno un montón en el proceso de uno decir, ah, de pronto cuando yo estoy teniendo este problema, este camino debería tomarlo, o
Ujú.
debería darme cuenta de pronto de esto que no estaba viendo y que lo vi en el proceso de la otra persona. Entonces, em, sí.
Pero
em,
muchas gracias por ese comentario, porque sí sentimos que lo que lo que estamos haciendo es valioso, no no necesariamente en el sentido de que se le quite el valor como al objeto resultante del acto pictórico, digamos, a la pintura que resulta después de uno como esforzarse tanto cuando uno está pintando, sino que más bien queremos enfatizar la parte de proceso que no necesariamente tiene que ver, o sea, muchas veces se intersecta con un proceso formal, que un proceso que tiene que ver con construcción y con materiales y con técnica, todo eso obvio también lo vamos a mencionar, pero que es un proceso de creación. Y entonces, ¿qué implica un proceso de creación que va a terminar dialogando con pintura? O sea, ¿qué
Mm.
implica ese momento de
¿Y
creación?
cuáles son también, perdóname, los verdaderos tiempos de un proceso de creación, no?
Ujú, ujú. Sí, bueno, verdaderos es porque tú sabes que tus tiempos son muy
Ah, no,
distintos
no.
a los míos
No,
y
no, pero
siempre
es
lo
que esto
hemos...
es sobre tu proceso. Entonces,
Sí,
¿cuáles son tus verdaderos tiempos?
sí, exacto.
No como esa idea como de, no sé, empezó el video, ti, 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 10 minuticos y ta, está la pintura increíble y uno no ve que detrás de eso de pronto hay 4 horas o 5 horas o 2 días o 5 días de pelearle un montón a esa misma pintura.
Exacto, exacto.
Leach was saying, see you on Monday on Patreon. See you Monday on Patreon. Love you guys.
Ay, tan
Ay,
lindo,
Leach,
Lich.
tan lindo. Ahí nos vemos y espero nos veamos prontico. Um, Ink and Sap was saying, oh, do you have a book published about your drawings and sketches? Love your art.
Well, thank you. No, specifically about drawings and sketches, no.
No, but there's drawings in some books.
Some.
And talking about books,
Yeah. Did you want to
there's a
say? Do
great,
you want to say anything?
yeah, there's a great thing.
Yeah.
We did a book. We did a new PDF book that's gonna be available for anyone that joins the patron, that becomes a patron member. So with the subscription, with the membership of patron, you already get the book,
Yeah.
like the book and all the content that you're gonna get with the patron, but you're gonna get that book. We're very excited. I think it's a very nice
Yeah, it's super
PDF
nice.
book.
Yeah, we thought initially that it was just going to be like a little almost like edited version of the other books that we have published, like a smaller, almost like catalog type. And we were surprised that it ended up being like a 200 plus page book that
And it's images that
feels,
haven't
yeah, it
been
had the,
in
we
other
haven't,
books, so
no,
it's,
exactly. So we even like had the yearning to
we
say
were
like,
like,
should we
oh, can
do
we
another
do,
book? Like
yeah.
this would be like a really nice book. And we had to stop ourselves because making a book, I mean, the making of the book, and we could convince ourselves that, I mean, we would have to tweak it if we want to put some text, a bit of text into it and just a bit more like formal aspects of the construction of
Yeah,
the
but we
book.
had the structure of it. Like
Right,
we
right.
already had the,
But that's kind of like the exciting, cool part. But the toughest part, of course, is the printing of the book with all the kind of variables that we need to deal with here in Colombia, you know, regarding paper and shipment. We
yeah.
need to import it into the U.S. We need to pack everything because, you know, for the past books, we've done this with Danny just on our own, with obviously the help of my brother. That, you know, we were able to stay in his house and work, you know, from his garage for weeks,
And
you
I,
know, while doing this. But just to finish this
yeah.
off, but that's a ton of work, and we kind of want to concentrate on the patron part of it, and we'll see if
No, and I would say that also, I mean, I feel, I don't know, because you were talking about that it would be cool to be, like, for the book to be printed, but I also think that it's very cool for the book to be part of the patron, which is our
right.
new chapter. And I think that the book as a PDF book is amazing as it is.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And we were thinking, oh, should we print it? And then we were like, no. I mean, this is intended, and we wanted to print it just because we enjoyed the process and we enjoyed
Yeah,
the, like, the result of the book, like
yeah.
the
Oh, we
finished
we
piece.
both love books. We
Yeah,
love printed
and we
media.
love
So
how it turned out. So we were like, oh, this is amazing. But I think that the great thing is that it's amazing as it is, and it's amazing for us to be able to share it with the people that want to support our work in Patreon. So we are very happy for that too.
yeah, it
It's
just
gonna be
works, and it's a
available
very
there.
nice kind of extra. Yeah, it's super nice.
It's like a thank you
Yes, yes.
for
the
supporting us.
the
So
image resolution is super nice, super faithful. So you could zoom into that PDF, you know, quite a bit,
yeah,
and you'll have like really nice resolution. So yeah, if you're one of the people that consumes media now, you know, digitally in terms of like and you enjoy more digital books, PDFs instead of like physical books, this is right up your alley. Or if you notice that you're a little more comfortable, or you're kind of wanting a little more when you do own a physical book, that you wish that you could kind of zoom in and have like a nicer sense of like details, that's all in this book.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we are super happy that hopefully we can offer this to people, and that alone can be something that can tell you, you know what, let me give this a chance, because I think that we are very conscious that this is something that, even though it's not super new for us, because we've been creating like video content for years, but Patreon is very new for us, and we do feel like we have to earn what we're about to do, and the only way we are going to earn what we're about to do is to say people, hey, we want to give you a sense that we're going to work for you.
Yeah, and as I was saying, it's also like a thank you for joining our Patreon, but also thank you for trusting what we do.
Yes.
And it's like a way to show the things that we do, like like for people to know that we deliver things, because we love doing this. So
Yes.
we love the paintings, but also the process, but also the videos, but also sharing the process of doing those. So yeah, I think it fit perfectly with the patron launch. And
Yes.
we hope that everyone that joins enjoys the book a lot too.
Yeah, I think
So
it's what I was going to say that I didn't say was, I think that, you know, hopefully people say, hey, this is a nice $10 for this PDF alone would be kind of like a cool thing. I'm willing to pay $10 for this PDF.
by the way,
And
at 200 plus
yeah,
pages,
yeah, yeah.
it's
So,
not like
oh no,
a
no.
little
No, no, no. It's a nice kind of full, let's say, very traditionally constructed book.
PDF book. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, I guess, we both share the sentiment, but we're hoping that if people enjoy that, and maybe you've purchased like a PDF from us before, and so you kind of know what to expect, that you say, like, okay, I'm going to go for the book, and let me see what else is there in this, patron. And our job is to surprise you. Our job is to say, like, hey, this is going to be like a fuller experience. This is going to be something that feels a little bit closer, and hopefully, yes, that bit of the book that was like what was familiar in what we have produced brought you to saying, let's give this patron a chance. And then what we're going to do with our content is what's going to hopefully allow you to consider staying
Yeah.
for with us for months. And but that's, the onus is on us 100%. Like, I've always liked that the responsibility is on us. We can't blame anyone else for what we do. Like, we are responsible. We can't just say, like, oh, we could have done this way cooler, but we couldn't because blah blah blah. It's like, no, no, no. This is us. We are deciding what we're going to do with this, and we're deciding what tone it has to, it's going to have. And I think you'll realize that it's very simple, but it's very true, and it's very honest about picture making. And the things that we want to investigate, we almost want to investigate with you and have you alongside, in this kind, these lines of questioning. So I don't know. I really do feel that we're going. It almost feels like the next step for us, and it feels true. So I'm super happy about it. By the way, I like this portrait. It looks like a nice drawing, doesn't it?
It does.
Totally off. Totally off. Jesus Christ. No, it's not off as a drawing. I think the drawing is fine. It's just that I need this head, like the axis of this head needs to be like over here.
That's
So I'm
very
dying.
Nicolas.
Oh, I'm so
So you're
dying.
gonna erase it?
No, well, I'm gonna have to at some point, but I do want to check that when I flip the paper.
Okay.
So I promise, for a patron video, we flip the paper
Yeah.
and we're gonna redraw everything. For now, I'm just like okay with struggling with my axis right here, but Jesus Christ, like, I know that I have to move this, and I know that it just has to be a little more towards us, the viewer, not so much like turning away. Woof. It's a tough one. I told you it was going to be tough. I told you. I'm not flawless doing these. So, woof, tough.
Horik was sending like a emoji. How do you
Well, I think you just
like
did it.
a
You just
yeah?
did it.
And they were saying you're spoiling us. Psycho Hound was saying yay, otro para la colección.
Muy amable, muy amable.
Ink and Sap was saying, oh wow, that's amazing. That's a great idea. I'll definitely check out your Patreon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Brady Fellows was saying, you guys will absolutely earn it. I feel you already have. I'm going to join the day it goes live. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Emily Hales was
Yeah.
saying, I'm so excited. All your content is very inspiring and brings joy.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
that's so nice. Let's see.
I think you know that something that can't be sort of overlooked when we were doing our videos was that we really, this is a very strange thing because when we started, we knew nothing about making videos. I knew nothing about talking through painting. I mean, I had been a teacher for, over a
Or
decade.
talking to a camera.
Yeah, but the camera work for me was horrendous. Recording things for me was horrendous.
I had
Sometimes
never edited in my life.
Oh, yeah, you had to like learn as you went along, literally. So for me, I would be like an hour long voiceover that then had to be edited to 25 minutes. And you could ask Danny how many times I recorded for an hour and it was like 10 at night. And I would just go to her and say, I have no idea what I just said. I have no idea. I have
Yeah.
no clue what I just said. I have to I have to do this again
Yeah.
because I think that I just spoke, but I didn't say anything. Like I didn't convey anything. I was just like my mouth was moving, but I have no idea what I just said. And so I would have to go back after having recorded an hour and record like a new hour or 45 minutes to an hour and feel like, okay, that was a little bit better. So this was hell. This was really, really, really difficult for us. Like very difficult for
And
us.
also, I was going to say that we started, like, we learned to, like, to know how to, for example, you how to do the voiceovers. Because I remember at
Yeah.
the beginning, you were like, blah, 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 blah. No, 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 this, no. So this, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if you remember that. So I had to edit. So you were like, no, you have to take this out, take this. And I was like,
oh,
no, no, no.
right. Yeah.
You have to, I'm sorry, I love you, but you have to re record this because this is like a 2 hour video
Yes.
of you saying, yeah, this goes, no, this doesn't go, yeah, no, no. And you like, you repeated the same sentence. And I was like, what am I? Because you, like in your brain, it made sense because you were the
Yes.
one talking. In mine,
I mean,
I was like, this is absolute hell. I have
mean, it
no
made
idea
some
what he's
sense.
saying, where to cut.
It
where
made some sense in my brain, but I
in
didn't
yours.
really. I didn't know what I was doing. That's the truth.
So,
But what I was going to get to is that I think what made it all kind of amazing was realizing that even though it was talking and not knowing what I was saying, and eventually just like Frankensteining it together into hopefully something that was cogent, and then putting that out there.
cogent?
Cogent, yeah, it's a very beautiful word. Like cohesive, coherent, yeah. Cogent's nice word. I don't think there's a direct kind of translation in Spanish, but anyways. But I think it made sense for us when it started to become real that there were real people at the other side of the conversation. Like when we started doing live videos and we realized, oh, these are the people that are listening to what we do.
And even in the comments.
Right.
Because it was
We had a
amazing
sense of-
when in the comments it was like, oh, what you were saying in this, it resonates a lot. And you're like, yes. Like what I was trying to say made sense.
yeah, somebody paid attention.
yeah.
They're actually
Or
listening.
somebody got what I was trying to say.
Right.
Because at the beginning we were struggling so much that we were like, don't even know if people get what we're saying.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying and what I'm trying to edit to make it a 20-minute, maybe it doesn't make sense when I cut it, but then we realize it does, and that's very nice.
Yeah.
Like to see that people resonate with the things that we.
So I think what we have now is a chance to get back to that kind of community building dynamic that
Yes.
I think we genuinely enjoy it. I really think we do. I think you wouldn't you couldn't pay us enough to fake like being interested in people and being interested in like talking to people and caring about people. Like you can't pay people enough to sort of fake that. I think we do. We like this. We kind of see it as a part of what we do. So it's not just making content and then just saying, "Oh, let the content float over there," and then people are just going to make the best out of that content and my job is done, and you just kind of wipe your hands and you're like, "Yes, I'm done." No, I think that for us, it's always like a beginning of something. That it's just the content's going to open the door to then hopefully have conversations in our Discord that revolve around ideas that we saw in the painting, and we do have like a wish, a hope that our Discord can become like a very healthy part of our community. I know that critical thinking accompanies art, and I know that that usually involves people not agreeing on things and people kind of arguing through things. And I'm never going to shy away of thinking through you know our differences in art. We think we feel very differently about tons of things in art and tons of things in life, and it's totally fine. Like probably the reason that we're together is our ability to actually talk to each other and kind of work things out, even though we know that we're coming from different shores. So our hope is that yes, there is going to be part of that very healthy art community that is people not being 100% on board with what somebody else believes in or what somebody else publishes or what somebody that I think that that's the nature of any sort of board or any sort of channel or any sort of comment section that you put out. But I'm hoping, and I think we share this, I'm hoping that there is more of a binding tissue to what we do than something that is disconnecting.
No, and I think that also the fact that it is in the Patreon, like we know that the people that join the Patreon want to be there. Because I think that sometimes what you were saying about like comments that sometimes can be like disruptive,
Yeah.
that could happen a lot here in the YouTube lives, for example. Because maybe there's someone that's not interested in the things that we're doing or in the process or in working themselves. They just want to come here and say whatever and go away. Because that has happened to us before.
Oh yeah.
But what we really want is to create that community in Patreon where you know that you can feel like it is a place where you can share the work that you're doing and you know that you're going to receive a feedback. It's like a safe place to show the things that you're doing because I think that the fact that you're showing how you struggle, it also makes people know that they can show when they're struggling. It's not like, oh, no, I can't show this because they're just going to roast me or whatever, because that's not what we're going to do. And that's not the type of community that we build.
Yeah.
So I'm very
Again,
like,
I'm all for understanding that critical thought is part of the reflection that accompanies, the sort of understanding or the trying to understand, the trying to make sense of any sort of artistic endeavor. But and this coming from somebody who taught in an art faculty for over a decade, I think there are ways of doing this without it being aggressive or without it being like overly critical or without it just constantly shining or putting a light on shortcomings. I think shortcomings, like analyzing shortcomings, it's super easy. But I think showcasing things that are done well and then empowering those things that are done well and convincing artists that, hey, you may not notice this because you're so committed to just analyzing your mistakes and just feeling that like they're overwhelmingly powerful, that you're probably not noticing all the things that you're being successful at. So I think that my vibe as an artist and as an instructor has really, really kind of shifted throughout the years where I find so much more value in reinforcement, and it's not in being soft. So I do think you can be tough in a very loving way, but you can showcase things that are wonderful about what, people do, and things that are worthy of pointing out, and things that are worthy of constructing upon. So I think I understand the vibes that I want to sort of put out as somebody who can be critical, and hopefully, and this is why I'm kind of emphasizing the character of the Discord. Every time you put a ton of people together, and especially a ton of artists together, you don't really know what to expect. But what Danny was kind of remarking on, and saying like, hey, people are going to pay because they want to be here, and that makes a big difference. The fact that you want to be here already should put you on a mindset that it's like, let's build something together. Let's
Mm-hmm.
really build
And
something
I'm
together.
part of this.
Right, right.
It's
Instead of like, hey, let's put each other down, and let's just, hey, this is wrong because this, and this. And I know that a lot of us, and this was my experience when I was starting out, like, I wanted and I needed something very binary from my teacher. Tell me if I'm right or tell me if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, help me out to find the way in which I can make it right. And this is something that I needed when I was very young, because I only saw things in right or wrong, right or wrong. And I do think that that's important. Well, I do think that that's a part of like a lot of our progress in education, or educating ourselves. If we have to educate ourselves and we can't be part of like a bigger academic program, or like a mentorship program, I really do think there's ways of doing this. There really are. Like, I remember most fondly the kindest teachers that I
yeah,
had
me too.
that were so helpful, and they weren't the best. Like, technically, formally, they weren't the best artists at all. So my drawing teacher, I can say this very lovingly because I really, really adored Sam Martin, but I loved Sam, but I was very conscious that Sam was not the greatest of drafts people. And it didn't matter because the way he spoke to me made sense for me. So what I didn't need was a teacher that was better at drawing. What I always wanted was just somebody who could talk to me,
Mm-hmm.
who I felt that, like, hey, when I ask something, they're listening to me. And when they're answering to me, it feels like they're answering to me and me alone,
Mm.
rather than just spitting out whatever I can, the same thing I could find in a book, or the same thing that I could find in any other kind of advice that I could get from any other, fellow artist, or instructor or teacher out there. So I think we both hope that the vibe for our patron is that. You know, I know it's tough to just convince ourselves to say, like, oh, this is just fake if everyone's just happy and it's all sunshine.
No, but I think
No,
it's
but
not being happy and
no,
sunshine.
but that,
It's like
but I think,
knowing that as you want to grow as an artist, everyone does. And when you struggle, you know that like the rest of the people that are creating things, they struggle too.
yeah,
So it's like accompanying everyone in the struggle without like pointing out the struggle, like pointing out the struggle just to point it out.
right,
Because I think that that's when you're like, yeah, I know that it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't look good because I am doing it. I am struggling. It doesn't
right,
make sense to point it out just to point it out. So,
yeah. So,
um,
so the compliment to the patron that is going to be the Discord, because yes, this is all built up on the Discord, the patron. I'm sorry, the content that we're going to do for the um for the patron.
Discord
That's going
is
to be,
just something that you could access
yes,
if you want to.
yeah, yeah,
Again,
yeah. It's
if
optional for
if
sure.
you're not much of a talker,
Yeah,
um
you
you
don't have
can
to.
no, I mean, it's just when you become a member of our patron, you get access to that Discord. So Liad was asking, is the Discord already set up? Yes,
Yes.
we already set it up,
Yep. Yep.
Liad. And yeah, so you would get access to, everyone would get access to the Discord when they become a
Yeah.
member.
So right now, for example, just to give you an idea, we have like sort of share channel where you can say, hey, this is me, this is my name,
This is
uh,
my work.
this is my, you can link up your work. We're probably going to limit the linking of images because that we can't control, but
But you could share like your
yeah,
Instagram
you can
or
share your
your web
socials or your
page,
webpage
or yeah.
exactly, which is a really good way of like finding who is part of our community and what their work looks like, and that's super super cool. There's also like a general channel where if you find that there's questions about like a particular video that you want to engage in,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously both Danny and I are going to be an active part of this Discord, so you can count on us being part of these conversations. But if you want to ask a question regarding like the content that has been published on our
Mm-hmm.
Patreon,
Or if you have any, like maybe you say, hey, I want you to talk about the surface that you use
oh yeah, any
in the video,
suggestions
like
for
any,
future
yeah,
videos? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, 100%. So that you can post in our general channel. There's a reference channel, which is really cool because we talk about artists during the
In the
videos,
videos that
and we
Nicolas does,
show
he shows.
yeah, we show images of those artists also, and those artists are also part of that reference channel.
Yeah.
So every artist that I talk about in those videos, you're going to be able to see in that reference channel. So there's going to be, let's say, 10 images, 10 to 15 images of those artists, and if you want to explore them further, you just obviously just can copy paste their name and Google them and search for them a little bit more. But those are going to be referenced, and they're kind of chronological. So as you start, and we advise everyone to start chronologically with the content that we are providing. You can go to the reference in our Discord and see that the artists that you probably just saw in the video are referenced in there also chronologically.
Yeah. And again, if you're intimidated by Discord, because I know that there's a lot of people that don't really do Discord or on
Right,
other platforms, but they want to join the Patreon. It's
right.
not like you're gonna miss out on the references, because as Nicolas was saying, they are already part of the video. So
Yes.
in the references in the Discord, it's just like an extra if you want to have the images. They're gonna be like organized in that
Yeah.
place.
And if you
So
need to gather a little bit of courage to get to say, okay, I'm gonna open a Discord account even though I've never done this. All you need is an email, and what you're gonna see, it's just like a chat room. It's super super basic.
you can
We're
be a
keeping it super
lurker.
simple. Yeah, we're keeping it super simple. So if you are unsure, just open your account. You can delete it afterwards if you want, but open your account. It's already going to be linked to our Discord in the Patreon. And then you can just navigate those channels super, super seamlessly. It's very, very easy because the interface is really, really simple. And you just scroll down and you'll see the comments and everything. So that's we have the general channel, we have the reference channel. We're also going to have like a materials and technique channel. So
Show and tell.
exactly, the materials and technique channel is that if I'm referencing like a specific varnish or a specific medium, and I talk about the mediums, like for example, there's going to be videos where I explore like the safety data sheets of some of the things that I've been using because I now have questions about the things that I'm using, as my medium or as my varnish. And I start to like say, okay, maybe I should be using something else. What else could I use? And let's look at what's out there and why it would be a better alternative. So those things, if there's PDFs on that, I'm linking those on the materials and technique. If there's mediums, I'm telling you, hey, these are the mediums. If I'm referencing books, I'm also not linking those books because I don't want anyone to feel that, hey, this is our Amazon link and we're going to get some like a percentage if you guys click on this link. No, I don't care. I'll just give you like an image of the cover of the book, and then you can search for that and buy it or not, or buy a PDF, or buy it digitally if wherever you want to buy it from. So that's
But
we're
you're
not
just
linking.
going very
It's
ahead.
very specific. Yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
buying and
Well,
no.
because sometimes you're like, hey, what book do you recommend?
So it's gonna be
And
the information. It's
right,
gonna
and
be
I don't like it
available.
to be. I don't like these. If I should say like, oh, this is the book, like a Ralph Mayer book, for example, and here's the Amazon link. It's like, no, you don't have to go to Amazon. So I'm just going to show you the book, and you can go and purchase it or not if you want to. Or for example, I mentioned what was the book? Oh, Alla Prima, Richard Schmidt book. That book is in the Internet Archive. That book is available publicly, which is super beautiful. So you can actually go to archive.org and check that. And I mentioned that on a video, and then I linked that on the materials and technique. So you can actually go and link there and search for more Schmidt books. And you just have to make an account and borrow those books as if you were borrowing from a library. And it's super cool. So all those resources that have to do with materials, techniques like books or PDFs, those are all going to be in that section. And and we have the sort of show and tell section, like, oh, tell us who you are and tell us what you do. And I think for now, those are three very simple channels that we have, like a general one, no, four, general one, reference one, materials technique one, and a sort of like introduce yourself one.
And also, I mean, if you decide not to join, but you could be part of the community too with the live streams that we're gonna do.
Yes, of course.
So, yeah. Julia dice,
Julia.
creo que este espacio va a ser súper valioso, cuenten conmigo por allá
Ay,
y
tan
súper
linda.
merecido y chévere que puedan trabajar con más calmita y fluidez. Ay,
Tan linda,
gracias
Julia.
la Julia. Nos veremos por allá entonces.
Y feliz año y un abrazo
Feliz
a Julia y a toda la familia.
Em,
Al hermano, que siempre la acompaña cuando viene acá. Siempre es como, el hermano siempre es la compañía.
Toca saber, es Julia, cuando, si de pronto ya es citadina o no.
Sí, cambió el código de área.
De pronto. Let's see. So
Okay.
Catherine Peremsky. No. It makes me a little bit nervous. But Catherine Peremsky was saying, Danny, will you also do videos on the Patreon about carving? And Rosalind was saying, I second Catherine's question. We love Danny's carvings. Thank you so much, Rosalind Sira. And Ink and Sab was saying, will you be trying gouache again, Nico? Would we see Danny painting as well? So
you
now,
first address.
I would say for now, no. I mean, we are thinking about the Patreon with Nicolas' art process. But I have to say that I'm thinking about starting this year to share more of my process, to be more diligent with sharing my process. As I was saying, I think that I'm going to start sharing the things that I'm doing maybe in the live streams.
Yes, you can.
And then we'll see if I get more comfortable to share them as videos. I don't know. I was thinking maybe uploading them here on YouTube.
Yeah. You can 100%. Danny was thinking about, because we have like a healthy YouTube channel. It's not enormous, but it's healthy. She wanted to see if she could use that platform.
Well, but now you're just throwing me under the bus.
No,
I'm just saying
it's not
that
a bus. It's
no,
I mean, it's something that we talked
no,
about.
because I don't know if
like,
I want to. Yeah, well, go ahead.
So this is not a commitment. So this is 100% not a commitment. And I think this is also like something that should be talked about, which is that social media, sometimes it's very weird, and especially social media for artists, because there's a wonderful artist like Danny that doesn't necessarily feel like everything should be public.
No, and I would like to share the things that I do. Yeah. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that just they want to create the things and not share it. I really like the sharing process. It's just that I work in very different times.
Yeah.
So for now, I would say no, because we're like creating the Patreon more focused on Nicolas' work. But thank you so much, and we'll see if maybe I could share some more of the process.
That is 100% on you. Yeah, I would never pressure you on anything like that. I would just say that the same enthusiasm and the same joy that a lot of the people that really love what you do is one that I share, and you've known this forever, and I respect what you do, and I'm a huge fan, probably like the biggest fan of what you do. I'm the biggest believer in what you do because I think you're incredibly intelligent and talented. But I also know that you have your own timing to things, and I do respect it. Like, over everything else, I respect that you post things whenever you feel like you should post them. And I totally understand that. And I kind of think that it's okay that we're a couple where I tend to be super public about things that I publish, and probably this patron is going to be about being that much more public about all the struggles and all the things that are that go hand in hand with the making of pictures. um but I also understand that artists are separate universes. Like everyone if this patron is healthy and if we have like a really cool community like we've had before, we're all very different. We're all very different. Like the purpose is never to just become faster or quicker and post more. In fact, we're probably gonna just sort of push or make people enjoy the creative part of making and not just concentrate on the result. So I would say, Danny, this is you obviously this is your work, and
No,
and
and I,
you're
I
gonna
never
have the
feel it like a pressure. I mean, I'm very grateful that like people enjoy the work that I do and they want to see more. And I would love to share more too. I don't know. It's just that for me, it's kind of weird in the sense that like we started the channel thinking about you showing your work, and
Mm.
I was like in the behind the scenes.
Yeah, but I
Not
think
in a bad way. I mean,
no, no,
in the
no.
best of ways, because I feel very comfortable there.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe I can surprise everyone and start sharing more of my process. I think I started doing that. I don't know if it was last year on my Instagram,
Yes.
and maybe I could try and explore longer format videos,
Yeah. Very nice.
or maybe posts or something. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But I don't want to say that I'm gonna share that on Patreon if it's not part of what we're gonna share.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's not what we are really gonna share. So not for now, but maybe in the future. So for now, it's Nicolas' work, and I'll be there in the live sessions.
Great. And I think the second part of that was that if we are contemplating just using different mediums and different,
If you
yes,
will be
yes.
trying
Oh,
gouache
100%.
again.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's going to be a lot of that, a lot of the real time struggle with subtractive mediums like water based mediums for me, which are just, if you know me, they are my bane. But if we're going to do this, like, let's do it right. And if we're going to, visualize the struggle, visualize the tough part, um, what better way to do it than just, in these little bits of content that we can do for our patron that really, really kind of emphasize that. So,
Yes.
yes.
Lola Onigiri was saying, ustedes son maravillosos y estoy segura que les irá muy bien. Y un corazoncito.
Tan
Muchas
linda.
gracias,
Muchas
Lola.
gracias.
Y Lola dice, y Dani, amo lo que haces y me encantaría poder ver más de ese proceso sin importar la plataforma que uses para enseñarlos. Muchas gracias, Lola. Em, sí, yo siento que es como, o sea, me gusta también entender como un proceso como paralelo al proceso de creación de Nicolás, pero pues nosotros siempre hemos recalcado que son procesos muy distintos.
Mm-hmm.
Entonces, de pronto, la manera en la que Nicolás lo comparte es, o sea, no de pronto, es la manera en la que él se siente cómodo compartiéndolo, y yo estoy como buscando la manera en la que yo me sienta cómoda compartiéndolo, porque la parte de compartirlo también me parece muy, muy chévere. Entonces, let's see. So Rick was saying, what surface are you using?
Oh, so this is curiously, this is the same paper, the paper that I'm drawing on, which seems like it would be more suited for drawing. It's actually the same substrate that I use for painting. So this is moleskin. So, and no, they don't send me any um, pads, unfortunately, or
Sketchbooks?
sketchbooks or anything. So we buy all of our materials. So this is a moleskin sketchbook, and this is what I use for to paint on. And I don't do anything for to the paper. I did though. This is going to be part of like other videos, but I did. I was able to get the transparent acrylic binder
Yep.
that we used to buy, the Bindex from PBO, PBO, and I was able to get like two, kind of largish, tubbish containers of it. Containers. Now that feels like
Like
it's really big, but they're
cans?
they're
No,
about
but
that
they
big.
are
Yeah, they're pretty
like
big.
little containers.
Yeah. So
Cans, maybe? No, they're
no, it's
not
not quite a
cans.
can. Just a
Bottle
jar, a
jars,
jug,
jars, jars.
maybe a jar. So I was able to get two big ones. I haven't used. Oof, it's been a while, right? Since I've used PBO
Maybe
Bindex.
2021 too.
Maybe 22, maybe at most. No,
But like
21
21 maybe.
because then I was working on the linen. Do you remember?
Yeah. No, but that
And
was
then the linen
2020
after the linen, the little bits of linen, I started on paper,
raw.
and then I was just like, okay, it's paper. From now on.
Maybe yeah,
So
2021 maybe.
So it's going to be kind of nice. And I want to record that, like what happens to the paper once you put like an acrylic binder that protects it, but also introduces like its own set of issues because we're not mounting the paper or laying the paper on anything. I think Stephen Bauman does a wonderful video on how he stretches the paper on stretchers, which is really cool because all you need to do is wet the paper, and as the fibers like expand and the paper just expands, excuse me, a little bit, you can stretch it on stretcher bars. You just need to be a little bit careful, but you can stretch it on stretcher bars. I'm always reminded that me and Willie Chahin, we stretched printer paper because he made enlargements of a drawing that he did, and he was like, I want to stretch this on a canvas.
I remember that.
It wasn't
Story.
just stretcher bars, but it was a canvas. So the canvas actually gave it like a little bit of backing, and we used like a blue mat. Do you remember those blue mats at the university that the models used to?
Yes.
Yeah. So we used one of those blue mats, and we had water
I
and
don't know
we
if
sprayed.
that's a mat.
Yeah, it's a mat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like una colchoneta.
Yeah.
It's a mat. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
If you want to translate it, yeah. So we spritz it, we sprayed it with a spray bottle and soaked it, and then we had like newsprint paper, and we blotted it, and we stretched it, and we only had like a tear. Mind you, this is like printer paper. This is like ridiculously fragile, and we only had a tear in the back of the stretcher bars where we were like stretching it with a staple gun, and we were able to stretch that thing, and it was really amazing. And then just put like I don't know, just layers upon layers of Bindex on it. You know that I'm thinking, I think Willie was the one that introduced me to Bindex.
Maybe.
I think so. I'm almost like 100% positive. And it's a thing that I used like forever afterwards. But he was the one that introduced me because he was trying to do like Dave McKean, like collages and paint over them. And he was like sealing them with this thing. And I was like, oh yeah, that looks like GAC, which is a very traditional thing, like a traditional acrylic medium. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start using it. And I loved it. I really, really loved it. So we were able to stretch it. But my point was that that always works if you have a backing. So if you're laying it on a board, or if you have stretcher bars, or if you're laying it on top of a canvas, like a stretched canvas, which can serve as backing. But if your paper is loose, like a loose sheet of paper, it's very difficult because you can't just prime one side because it'll warp and curl, from the uneven tension. So you have to prime both sides equally. And the tough thing there is that the tension is still going to be even, because you can't wet a paper and then say, I'm going to apply, Bindex, acrylic binder, to one side and then to the other side at the same time. Because how do you do that? You could in theory hang it, like if you had like clothespins, and then kind of hang it so the paper, like the fact that you're priming both sides exactly at the same time, and the whole of the fibers of the paper are trying to, not only shrink as they dry, but also dry because they now have this like drying adhesive on it. So I've never done that. I've always done one side, the other side, one side, the other side. And you do get, a fair amount of buckling, but you then have to press the paper. You put it in books or whatever, underneath books or under like whatever. And that sort of flattens it out a little bit. But now I'm thinking like we could do a video trying
I was gonna
trying to
say,
get it more
because
even.
I was thinking about while you were talking about, because you're very passionate about all the things that surround the act of painting, not only the painting itself,
Yeah.
like the painting process itself. And I think it's very cool that in the Patreon we there's already some videos there, but there's also going to be more videos about the things that happen around painting.
Yes.
So, I mean, it can be what you're saying, like a video trying to do the
Yes.
binder in a different way, or a video talking about the palette, the things of the palette, or
And you know what's cool? It's not like I appreciate a ton that Steven, because Steven and I are friends. Steven Bauman, I think he's like a great, great, fantastic painter, super nice guy, super cool guy, loves football as much as we do. So I really appreciate that also. But he's super cool. I'm going to be seeing him in Rome, hopefully this June, because we're doing Rome workshops together. So he's a super cool guy. He runs a super successful patron. And like I was saying, one of his things is like showing you how to do things properly. He's a really nice tinkerer, and he shows you how to do things properly. And I really really appreciate that about him. And what he does with the paper is super super cool. It's like, hey, this is a kind of foolproof, easy, good way, solid way of, proper way of doing this, of mounting a drawing on a piece of on some stretcher bars, or laying it on a board that has some sort of backing to it. Um, and I think that that's wonderful, content, and I think that that's super useful. We are sort of loose cannons, loose guns. So,
we?
well, yeah, I'm trying to like extend my
Okay.
looseness to you,
Mm-hmm.
but but what we could do is say like, hey, we're going to try this out,
Yeah, and I
and
think
let's
that
see
the
let's
great
see what
thing is
happens
that
if we try this out.
sometimes I don't know, it happens to me that I'm seeing a video of someone painting or sculpting, and they just, it's like a given that they think that everyone knows how to do something like stretching or like priming, or and sometimes if you're starting or if you're empirical, you don't know how to do it. So
Right.
it's also cool if we're going to share that in the Patreon, like the experimental part of it.
Yes.
Like, hey, I tried this and oh, that was terrible, but if you want to try it, I mean, go ahead and do it. Or I know that it's supposed to be done this way,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the way I realized I'm comfortable doing it.
Yes.
So more like technical things that you like kind of tweak to fit the way that you work. And
Yes.
it's not like you telling people, hey, this is the way to do it, but hey, this is the way I'm trying to do it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and it's not
So,
haphazard. It's not like I just stumbled upon like a way of doing something. You'll realize that I have like a ton of experience with very traditional ways of constructing images. So all the formal aspect of how your substrates should be treated, and how a painting should be constructed in order to make it stable is something that I adore, that I did for many many years, and I love that. But that was the thing, me loving that and me investigating upon those things was exactly what opened the door for me saying, hey, what if, what if I tried this instead of this? What if I do this instead of this other thing? What if I, are there going to be adhesion problems if I do this after this? So my brain is super, super, super curious. So instead of like staying still in things that are known and in things that are proven and in things that are stable, my brain is like, but, okay, but. So let's try it out. So we can do a lot of those okay, but things and try things out.
mhm.
That would be super, super enjoyable for me. And I think that that sense of experimenting together is something that I don't think is there, or there's not too many resources for those things
I would
out
say that
there.
the great thing is that we're gonna do it the way that feels natural to us. Because
Yes.
I don't know how many people do that, but it's in the best way. It's because we're not trying to look a lot of how people do their Patreon, because we want to make it ours. So we want it to fit the way that we work, how we work. That's why I'm saying, like, when I was asked about sharing my work, I was like very honest by saying, I think at this moment no, because I'm still like in the process of seeing how I feel comfortable sharing my work. Because if I want to share it, I want to be very comfortable with it. And as you're saying, there's a lot of brilliant people that share like a very academic way of doing things, but that's not the way we are. So it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
make sense to try to adapt that, and like to try to shift our patron to be that,
Right.
because it's gonna feel weird, and maybe we will have a lot of shortcomings because it's not the way that we do our things.
Yeah.
So I
I
feel.
I
Oh,
think
go
my
ahead.
my wanting to experiment is born from academic knowledge,
Of course,
because I
yeah.
do
No,
feel
it's an educated experiment, a
yes,
hundred
very
percent.
much so.
No, but I'm saying like the academic way of teaching how to do
Yeah.
X, Y, or Z. That's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
you're a little bit apart from that, in the
Yeah.
sense that you share the things that you've learned. And it's not like you're just trying to put ketchup in a paper and see what happens. No, that's not
Let's
the
that's
experiment that we're
okay.
talking. It's like,
Spoilers for
and
the third video.
that's
Come
like an
on.
educated, like what you're trying to say. It's like you're doing things out of curiosity of knowledge, like knowing how it's done, but trying to understand why it's done that way, and trying to
Yes.
adapt it to a way that you will feel comfortable doing it.
Yes.
So
So, it doesn't have like, I know that the drawing has gone through very slow stages of development, but is it visible
of
now?
course.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
visible?
I don't know. Well, visit. Yeah, I mean, I know people can
Yeah,
see something.
the camera is on. Yes.
Oh, okay, great, great. That was my biggest fear.
Yes, we can see Chile.
Okay, good, good. And I think this is. I think I'm close, but I think I'm gonna be so surprised slash shocked when I flip it. Oh my god! I'm probably gonna use like a darker pencil to see to overdraw on this drawing to just and I'll leave my pentimenti behind, which is like one of the most beautiful words ever, I feel, and one of the most beautiful concepts. It's like, yes, try to fix, quote unquote, fix something, but don't try to erase your mistakes. Let your mistakes be. So I think we're gonna. Oh, well, that's amazing. We'll call it pentimenti, that video, which is
Oh, I
really really
thought the
nice.
painting.
No, no, no. I think I've called other paintings pentimenti. So I would,
Pentimenti too.
yeah. but no, no, no. I think that that would be a great way of reassessing a drawing, readdress.
Pentimenti,
Oh
because
Jesus
it's
Christ!
the
Okay,
Chile, the
now
pet.
it's just now it doesn't matter.
We're back to the
Yeah,
live streams. Yeah, I'm
now it
sorry,
doesn't
sorry.
matter. But yeah, I think that that's a super super nice video. So for sure, that video is going to happen. We have other videos like that are happening. So just so people know, there is going to be. So in my brain, what I thought was that there could be like a sort of current that is more sort of geared or built on observation. So there's a bunch of paintings that are from observation. It doesn't mean that it has to be direct observation. So it doesn't mean that you have to be painting, from life, looking at nature. No, I think that there's like a ton of beautiful reflections that can be made if you have like photographic reference, and if you're, just looking at photos that you took or drawings that you did from, direct observation, and you want to turn those into paintings. Like but things that revolve around the reflection of observation, and and I want to do more imaginative paintings because I do think the process on these two is quite different.
And that's also how your brain works,
Yeah,
in the sense that, I mean, you were talking about how the edited videos had like a structure that you try to
right.
fit in, but this is more like, oh, today I want to do a painting about this,
Yeah,
but maybe tomorrow, like, I have an idea that's building in my
yeah,
brain about this other thing that comes more from the
right.
imagination, or
So these
so
are
it's
going to
like a,
be parallel to each other. So there's not going to be like an offsetting of the balance between these two. Like I'm going to try to be very mindful of like always complementing one with the other, one with the other, one with the other. So that's what you're going to see in the content that's already up. There's already a painting done here, and there's already a painting started here, and um, and I like that. I think that again, trying to identify what would make this make sense for us. I think that having these two sort of currents, present and very visible in what I do, is something that makes painting super enjoyable for me. It's almost like I need these two to be the painter that I am. So you're gonna see a bunch of these, a bunch of these two.
and by the way, when you say one done, like one painting done,
Yeah.
it's not just one video,
No, no, no.
but it's like all the videos of the process of making that painting.
Yes, yes.
So
So that's that. Those are going to be our two sort of sides of that same coin. That is picture making, at least for me, because I do think that it's super important that these two come together in what fundamentally is like me, the painter slash illustrator that I am. Like a lot of people don't realize this, but I was supposed to do comic books when I was younger. Like that was my dream, and then I kind of gave up on that because I realized that I wasn't really good at it, and I started doing illustration, and I worked as an illustrator, and that's what I studied. I'm not like a fine art painter. And eventually, the painting part of the illustrations that I was doing outweighed the illustration part, even though I
yes,
love illustration. I adore illustration.
yeah, but it's great
And
that you don't have to leave it to the side, because
exactly.
as you were saying, it's two things that really define who you are
Yeah.
as an artist.
Yeah. So
So
so I want to take
I love you. You just,
I
I
want to take
talk, you do a
a
line.
line.
I stop talking and you just look at me.
Yeah.
You're just like burning my
I'm
face
just
with your eyes.
I'm
You never
enamored by
look at
you.
me that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
much.
I'm eclipsed by you. This is that's how married newlyweds.
But you're like this. That's
Well,
why
that's
I
a little
was
psycho.
laughing.
Yeah, that's a little
You were
psycho.
just like talking, not blinking,
Yeah.
and staring at me.
Okay,
But
that's a psycho husband of yours then. But no, but that's really true. I do
yeah.
feel that in my life I felt that I was leaving behind these like initial steps that I had as an artist, and I think that nowadays what I'm realizing is that for me to fulfill, the kind of dreams that I have as an artist, it's okay for me to go back to the artist that I once hoped I was, that I once wanted to be. And so for me this is like super super important. And maybe for me, these are the things that I need to do, and for everyone else there's going to, you know, other people are going to do other adjustments or going back to other things, or kind of letting themselves unearth, things that may have been kind of covered because of shame or because of time or whatever reason. And it would be a cool time to explore those subject matters, or explore those paintings, or maybe it's not even painting. But I would love if that's the vibe that we carry, that, it is something that you owe to yourself. To You have the right to explore it, you have the right to enjoy exploring it. So, you know I think that we can sort of end it at that.
Yes, but
Yes, but no, just to and you can go ahead, you can say this. But no, but that at the core of what we're going to propose to people in the patron is exploration, is this very conscious level of exploration.
yes.
And I think that that's incredibly enjoyable, especially in a world today that is so enamored, to use the word that you were using with my crazy eyes, but it's so enamored with images and with the ability to make images and for images to be powerful that maybe we just have to remind ourselves that, hey, what if we take our eyes off the image for a little bit and just concentrate on everything that comes before the image, and let's just delve into that and feel okay there. I think that that's something that we all need, to be super super honest. But I hope that that's the vibe that you get from what we're proposing. But yes, what were you going to
No,
say?
I was gonna say that we did a box of questions
Okay.
on Instagram, and we forgot to
Well, I think
revisit
we've
them.
addressed some of those
So,
indirectly. But if you find ones that are
mm,
very particular and that maybe we could answer, I mean, you haven't let me draw, throughout all this time,
I'm
which is
sorry.
very
Yeah, I was
annoying.
holding your hand
It's super, super,
tightly so you
yeah, it's
couldn't.
super, super annoying. But
Mm. So, someone was saying, I want to know about mediums, materials, and advices for painters.
okay,
So,
so I do
I
think
think
that
we're gonna cover.
yes, those are going to be
Yes,
those are going to
yes.
be there. So yes, that's something that you can
Mm,
expect to see. I'm fully committing myself to like exploring that. So yes.
em, someone was asking en español. Hola, ¿sacarás algún recopilatorio en libro de tus villanos y superhéroes? Tengo tu último libro y es genial.
¿Están ahí? No, no es.
¿Hacen parte del,
Ah,
del
del
nuevo
PDF, sí,
libro en
100%,
PDF?
100%, súper bonitos publicados. Incluso nosotros ya habíamos compartido unas imágenes en alta que pueden bajar, pero el segundo como batch de imágenes lo dejamos exclusivo para el Patreon, entonces va a estar ahí. Y aparte de eso, van a estar en el libro publicadas, entonces se va a ver como una colección súper bonita. Pero sí, sí van a estar ahí.
Someone was asking how to use references to create original work. I think
Okay.
that can be covered in the Patreon too.
Yeah, I mean,
Like exploring references, maybe not to create your work, but as a guiding, like something that accompanies the process of creating your work. Because I think references are always going to be there, like you have them floating in your mind always.
yeah, yeah, and maybe they speak about not only those references, but references like the actual reference
Oh, so
that you're
not
looking
like
from.
artist references, but
Yeah,
photo
well,
references?
maybe
There's
it's
going to
both.
be photo
Maybe it's both.
references too.
Yeah, maybe it's both. Yeah.
So, yes and yes.
Yes to all of it.
Mm, so, someone was asking, will there be a mentorship portion in your Patreon? So, not for now, as we were saying,
Right.
but maybe in the future. But for now, no. There's only going to be one tier, chili tier,
Yeah, the chili tier, and
which
and
is
we
ten
just want to,
dollars, and you can access everything.
yeah, we want to concentrate on that tier and deliver on that tier, and if we find that it's a manageable enough community that we can say like, okay, I think every month we can accept, let's say, 6 people that we can offer mentorship
Yeah, but this
for.
is like
This
this
is in
is
the
not
future.
something we're
No,
gonna
no, no.
do.
So for now,
So
let's just start with what we're proposing,
yes.
and let's try to do a good job with that.
There was someone also asking. They were saying, "Hi, how do you choose what parts of your painting you leave some loose strokes?" I think the great part that your like the videos for the Patreon are gonna be like on the real, like they're not gonna be edited and with the voiceover is that you can see
Mm-hmm.
the parts. For example, they're saying where you leave some loose strokes, you're going to see that part, but you can also hear why you're deciding to do that. So
Yes.
why you're deciding to paint something or stop painting something or
Yes. I'm.
adjusting something.
Yeah. I'm
So
trying to be, again, the nature of this video today wasn't to just work while I was explaining, what I was doing in the drawing. It was more to like, say hello to, our community once again, which is something that we miss dearly, and to bring you a little bit closer to what we're hoping is going to be something that's, yes, exciting for us, but we want to transmit that excitement to everyone out there. And it is a beginning, but I do feel that it is only a beginning, but it is a very kind of strong step in the tone that we want to set for what we want to do. So um, so I do feel that the videos that we are putting out, the content that we are going to have available, first day in Patreon, you're going to see that it is talking through your work. It's almost like those thoughts that you have while you're painting. What I'm trying to do is just always have those thoughts be out loud. Always have those little things that are entering my brain, just say them out loud and work through them out loud. And I think that that's a super, super precious little bit of information that you can glean from an experience. And I'm hoping that people can have a sense of closeness. That being that open sort of bridges the gap between the act of making something and the person that's behind making that something. So I hope that's there. I'm gonna bet that you're gonna see that way more obviously, evidently, in these videos than the ones that you would see in the OPL videos. I mean, those have their value, of course.
In this, as in the Patreon.
The Patreon
than in the-
videos, yeah. I think in the Patreon videos, you'll see that there's like these other sets of values to them that I think are very wonderful.
So yeah, I was looking more questions, but I think
I think we already sort of addressed a bunch of things that people were curious about. So
Yeah.
So anyways, let me finish this. Finish, quote unquote, finish.
no, so
'Cause I
now
do
you
think,
want to draw?
well, I mean, I really, really wanted this space, but it does feel a little bottom heavy. But I do feel that these areas are going to be looser.
No, but it does not read bottom heavy.
No?
No.
Okay. So I do want this to hopefully convey that tenderness that I was talking about. Hopefully, something that feels very intimate. Very, very like this is our home. These are the relationships that we have, like in our family. Um, just something that carries like a very true feeling. Um, just you being kind of collapsed and sort of uh, generating the space that Chile can feel safe in. I think that that's beautiful. So I want to try and echo some of that
I love
if
that.
I can do that through a painting, which is quite difficult, but I'm gonna try to do while I cough. I'm gonna try to do some of
Okay,
that.
that was hideous, Nicolas.
Okay, that's how it came out, though. The cough.
No.
I mean, it was real. It was true.
Mm-mm-mm.
So, but we're gonna.
Sounded a little bit forced, but okay.
No, how am I gonna force that? No,
Hmm.
it just kind of happened.
Hmm.
It was a choke cough. Anyways, but the next step for this, because I do want to see how off I was, and mind you, this is not seeing how off I was by putting like a little Xerox on top, like a little layer, or like scanning this and putting it on Photoshop and then lowering the opacity of your reference photo and then gauging if it's right, how right you were or not. Not at all. This is just going to be me flipping this, like again, 90 degrees
I would
counterclockwise.
say 90.
90.
That's
I would say 90.
I
Yeah.
would.
I know you have a beautiful Latin accent, and that accent
Latin?
sadly,
Latina.
yeah, and that accent sadly died on me. I don't know how long ago. It's gone. It's sad.
Gone. It's
sad.
gone.
It's very sad. But so in honor of Danny, so I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees, and then I'm just gonna reassess the image. But I'm gonna do it me. I'm not gonna use aids. I'm not gonna use like some visual kind of aids to show me how off I was. No. This is just me seeing the same thing that I'm drawing right now, but in a position that is a little more familiar to what we are used to seeing. And I'm going to redraw it. And that's going to be exciting. That's going to be super fun.
And that's going to be in the Patreon.
Yes.
So we're very
we
excited.
have to leave you on a cliffhanger.
And we want to remind everyone that it's going to go live.
Yes.
patron
Yeah, the
in 2
6th.
days.
Yeah.
The
Should we
6th.
do it like 12 o'clock? We hadn't talked about this.
I thought we were
12
going to-
o'clock. Apparently, this conversation
Yeah.
did happen.
I think we talked about that.
Apparently, my memory is horrendous.
But yeah,
Yes, 12 o'clock. So
Yes.
12. So midnight.
our midnight.
Our
12:01,
midnight.
it's gonna be live.
Our midnight. So GMT -5.
So 12:01
Bogota time. Bogota time.
Bogota time.
Bogota time.
It's gonna be live.
90. It's gonna be live, and yeah, you can subscribe to it, and
No, you can become a member.
you can become a member. Is that the
Yeah.
official lingo that we have to adopt?
Yeah,
Okay, you can become a
a
member.
patron or
You
a
can become
member.
a patron.
Yeah,
And subscribe. I mean, it's a subscription service because
Yeah.
you are paying monthly fees, so it's a subscription.
yeah. So, momentary narration was saying, will
Yeah.
there be a link to the patron? So,
yes,
as soon as we launch it,
yes,
Nicolas is going to share stories with the
Yes.
link of it. I'm gonna link it here on YouTube.
yes.
I could link it to this live stream.
Also, you can pin
down.
it maybe.
I mean, I already put the name of it. It's gonna be OPL together.
yeah, so you
it's
could
the
search for
name.
it. You know,
But yeah, we're gonna link it.
yeah, make it
and
easier for
we can
all
make.
of you.
We're gonna make a
Oh,
post
and this
too,
is
like a,
yes, and for the first time ever, because we've never done this. You're gonna get an email from us, through our webpage. So through our Squarespace webpage.
Well, you as in the people that have.
You
Not-
as in
'cause
anyone
I
that
don't know
has,
if-
yeah. You as in anyone that has participated in anything that we've ever done, be it a raffle or or you've donated, or you have purchased a painting, or you have downloaded a free PDF, like downloaded free a free link to a link to
A
free images.
downloadable image.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Anyone that has interacted with our page and you have left an email, this is the only time we have ever used anything that is
We're
resembling a
gonna use it,
mailing
yeah.
list. But we are going to just send an email to our that list saying like, "Hey, we're on Patreon. This is new. Check it out."
Yep.
And we're not going to annoy people. This is not going to be a campaign. This is not going to be anything. This is just going to be, "Hey, you are, the people that were always supportive."
Yeah, you've been part of
Yeah.
all that our painted life has been, and we want to invite you to the new chapter. That's gonna be.
It's
the
more like a
patron.
personalized invitation. See it as
Yes.
that. But we're never going to bother you again. We're not in the business, and you know this. You've probably never gotten not probably. You've never gotten an email from us, that looks like a mailing list or a subscription list. So this is going to be the only time, the one time that we do it, and that's it. That's it. And it's not a spammy email. It's not nothing. It's
No,
just like,
and
hey, here's
yes.
what we're proposing. Here's a link. That's it.
And we are very excited to start this new chapter.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, we
and
are.
I hope we could see a ton of you over there.
Yes. And Danny, I think it's good to say this out loud.
What?
So if there's 10 people that first day or if that's first month, that's our family. That's we were always, this is the same nervousness / excitement that we felt when we were starting our first OPL video, that we were like, we're going to do this regardless. So if we do well, if we don't do well, we're going to do this. And we
Yes.
told ourselves like the videos are not going to be dependent upon the subscription or dependent upon the sales of the paintings. They're not. This is something that we want to do. So let's believe in that, the want to do something. So even if this starts slow, and even if this is a small, kind of very prosperous, happy family, OPL family,
Let's hope
yeah, let's hope that
it is
whatever
what it has to
it
be.
is what it is. But wherever it starts, it's okay.
Yes.
And I think this is super cool.
So I'm inviting everyone that wants to be there
Yes.
to join us.
Yes.
We'll be very happy to have you over there.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us for this live stream.
Yeah, thank you.
Remember, January 6th, so this Monday.
Took a while for the drawing to cook, but it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was there.
No,
Yeah.
it is there.
Was there a moment that you were like, there's not going to be a drawing?
Yes.
After 4
Like
hours.
40 minutes in.
After 4 hours,
I was
he's
like,
just going to
he's
talk.
still
He's still
looking
going to
at
look at
me.
me like a psycho.
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm married to you now. But,
No, but
you
I
know.
was going to say we should have just put the camera to us
Yeah.
and not just like
I don't know. I know this is weird that I'm addressing you because my head is turned. I think my neck is hurting right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Mine too, because I feel like I have to look at you. Because
You don't have to. You don't have to. I'm just enjoying, looking at you. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's it took a while for it to exist, this little drawing, but I think that's okay.
Yes.
I think that's going to be the pace
Yes.
for the patron.
No, because you work and talk at the
Slowly.
same time.
Even slower.
No, no, no.
Even more
No,
talking.
no, no. This is not what's gonna be.
More blank
It's not
pages.
like hello and he drops the pencil. No.
Yeah, blank
He
page galore.
Works and talks, which is amazing.
Well, I
This
try.
is amazing too.
I
but-
mean, well, I mean, it doesn't equate with you calling me a psycho with the psycho eyes.
No, I didn't say that. It's just that you were like staring very like intensely, and you'd never do that.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
You were like,
I don't know. I'm
and I
just
was
peering
like,
into your
"What's
soul.
going on?" And you were just like holding the pencil.
But I could.
talking to me
You know what's
and
beautiful?
moving the
That I could
pencil.
read your mind, and you were like, "Just draw, turn around. You can look at me later, but please, for the love of all that's mighty, draw."
Well,
And you know what I did?
you
did
a
looked at
drawing,
you.
and it is a very
I looked at the
beautiful
one
drawing.
thing that I love. I love you more than drawing. So
I
I'm
love you
sorry.
too. So
Yeah.
we'll see you on Monday on the Patreon.
I'll see you always with these
and
eyes.
Yeah,
I'll-
very happy.
I will stop seeing.
We're very happy
Now
to
I'm
be
gonna
here with you guys
stare.
and to for you
Stare.
to join us. So thank you again.
I'm still looking at
And-
you. I know you're avoiding me.
Why don't you say like something about
No,
the Patreon?
I hope that I hope that this I know we have a wonderful community that has been insanely generous and has been incredibly responsive to all the efforts that we have made, and this is just another opportunity for us to work hard for the people that have been super generous,
Yes.
with us. So we want to work hard for you. We want to do cool things. We want to engage in cool conversations. We want to have like really good vibes about picture making. So, it's I have a lot of faith in what we're about to do, and I'm super super excited. That's the truth, and I think you're going to be able to see that excitement in those videos. I'm not going to be speaking like, no, it's not that level of excitement, but you'll see that everything that I'm engaged with, I love. And the one thing that I've always thought is beautiful about art instruction, art education, or the sharing of knowledge or experience is when you get to see somebody do things that they love. It doesn't matter what they do. They could be doing like a little clay cup, or they could be doing like an enormous painting. But when things are done lovingly, it's amazing. It's beautiful. So I know that you will see in me somebody who loves to do this and who loves to speak about these things. And I think that's I think that's something that we need right now. And I think that that's what we're going to provide. So I hope to see everyone there. I hope that everyone that can will be there and be part of that new passage of our hopes of building this community. So yes, see everyone. So I will see everyone on the 6th.
Yes, we see you on Monday, and thank you again for joining us and for always supporting us. And we'll be happy to have you join our new